Welcome aboard. Happy Friday. It's good to see you all. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, the NCS stuff got kind of boring though after a while. Like it was the same music day, week in and week out. Like I still play that music for the break, and anytime that I'm in a position where we're recording potentially for YouTube and whatnot, like I still keep it to the non-royalty songs, like that type of music. Wiki Game is fun, but yeah, we got to change it up, dude. You don't want to use the same music every week. Thanks, Skills. Good to see you. Put an Arc by Shipwreck. Well, that'll be one of the break tunes in the middle. Flatboy F117. Good to see you. Yeah, I got my haircut. That's right. Did that on Wednesday, I think. Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday. I think I did it on Tuesday. Yes, I did it Tuesday. I go until my wife tells me about a dozen times or so, hey, it's time to get your hair cut. And then I'm like, all right, it's probably time to get my hair cut. And then off we go. The studio, good to see you. Do you prefer the G1000 over the Skyview? Well, I do, yeah, generally, because the G1000 version of this plane's got updates and extras, and like it's got better sounds and a better flight model and just a bunch of like it's an updated version of this, better interior modeling and texturing and stuff like that. So but I mean the stock G1000 is capable of doing a lot more than the Skyview system can in terms of approaches and things along those lines. Dogo DR, good to see you, man. I've gotten back into retail WoW. I promise I haven't abandoned classic WoW. I just needed to change things up and take a break. So I will be back eventually, I promise. Jetfire, it's good to see you, man. How you doing? Flyboy F117, good to see you. Flash23, good to see you. Craig Dasudia, happy Friday. I think I said hello to some of you guys, but just to make sure we got you. Dude, Dogo, you should totally go play some retail WoW. If you guys have a 120 in World of Warcraft, you should go do the you should go do the throwback event and whatnot. It's pretty good. Like the raids are pretty good. They're pretty good. It was a lot of fun. I did those on, oh man, it must have been Wednesday night. I was working on some of that stuff and whatnot. Manitis, good to see you, my friend. Happy Friday. Here we are. It's Friday. Another week. We're hanging out. Light crowd tonight. Ooh, man. What all am I competing with? Oh, everybody's flying the PMDG. That's right. The NGXU, I think, came out. And so everybody's busy. Everybody's busy checking that plane out, I think. It's all right though. We got the cool kids here. We got the kids. We got the folks that matter. That's all there is to. Oh, the World Flight's still going on too. So people doing all that. If you guys have the new NGX, how is it? Like it looks good. It looks better. But I never flew the original. Like the only PMDG product I've ever flown is two of them. I flew the Jetstream, the turboprop. I think it was the Jetstream 4100 in FSX, and then I flew the DC-6 in X-Plane 10. Also, by the way, rip PMDG and X-Plane. I feel like the delivery is English. Happy Friday. Thanks for the bit, Saltino. Yeah, this is about as English I think as you can get without actually putting the what do they call it? There's a name for it. Is it Union Jack? Is that the name of the British flag? I think it's the Union Jack. We're gonna go with it. Stealth Bob, good to see you, man. Playing Ben, welcome aboard, Ben. Desudi, all right, salute Desudi. Hello, Anthrax. What's going on, Anthrax? Good to see you, my friend, as well. Happy Friday, guys. NGXU is amazing. Yeah, so I guess if you buy it now, you can get a copy of the NGX version or the NG3 or whatever for Flight Sim 2020 next year. So if I had a copy of P3D, I would probably purchase it just to give it a go. But I don't have a copy of P3D installed, so I don't know that I'm going to go down that path. But I was surprised it was only $100. I'm expecting all like FS 2020 PMDG products to be like $300 or something. Like you're gonna have to take out a second mortgage on your house to be able to afford this stuff. So we can put avgas in the old DC3. But I don't know. Prices seem to be going up so quick. So hey, we're here. I don't know. It's a Friday. There's not really been a lot going on this week. We had a stream on Monday, talked about some of the stuff that happened, which was not a lot. I honestly don't even remember what I did last weekend. I think I mostly stayed home. Yeah, what did happen? No, I mostly stayed home. Yeah, this week I mostly stayed home too. It's been pretty uneventful. I'm hopefully going flying tomorrow. Our our 172, the strut is almost completely compressed in the front. So we have to make a decision as to whether or not we're okay flying it like that, or whether we, want to not go up. But I was supposed to go up. Dude, trying to find people to fly with, first of all, tomorrow was crazy. Everybody's got something going on. I guess it's that time of the year when like kids are doing things with school and this is happening and that's happening and just a bunch of stuff is going on. So just trying to find somebody to go flying with, man. Something just fell. Apparently there's a plastic cap on my desk and it just fell off fell off. Let's put it back in place here. But one of the guys in my club sent me a message and asked me if I was going to be flying today or flying this weekend and what I was doing and yada yada. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Nobody wants to go up. So why don't we go bang out some instrument approaches and keep some currency and all that stuff. So that's going to be the plan. I'm I don't know if I'm going to set cameras up, but hopefully go do some instrument flying tomorrow. I haven't really done a lot of flying the last couple of months here, and I've been kind of itching to get up and do more. It's mostly been a question of like, where should I spend the money? Probably shouldn't spend it on flying right now because there's a lot of other stuff. Baby turns 1 in exactly a week. Next Friday is baby's birthday, so that'll be that's we're paying for parties and all that stuff too. So yeah, it's good. Family's doing well. Yeah, she's a handful, man. That kid's a ham. She's awesome. I love her. She's a pain in the ass though. Like huge pain in the butt, but it's okay though. She's sleeping like 10, 12 hours at night. But the problem is she's waking up at like between 4 and 5 in the morning, which is kind of lousy. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. She's been sleeping okay during the day. I think she's hit another growth spurt or something because she's been eating a lot and sleeping a lot the last few days. But yeah, trying to get her to go down and take a nap has been an exercise in frustration. But yeah, she's doing pretty well. 1 year, I know, dude, it's nuts. Like I have had a child that I've been responsible for a year now, and I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Like that year has gone by so fast. I can very clearly remember pretty much everything that happened the day that she was born. And to think that it happened almost a year ago is just wild. Like absolutely wild, man. King of the North, good to see you, my friend. Iowa Scotsman, welcome aboard. Happy Friday, guys. I hope you're doing well. 2 is when it gets really fun. Yeah, well, we're okay where we're at for now. You never forget your first birthday, or is it you can never remember? I don't know. How does that work, Bob? I think you never forget their first birthday, right? Verity, good to see you as well. I think I've got everybody so far tonight. But one day you wake up, she'll be in high school. Hey, that means that she'll probably sleep in. Like at this point, I'm willing to skip a few years if it means that she'll sleep in even just a little bit later. Like it's mostly been my wife that's having to take care of all that. But yeah, that sucks for her. It sucks for me too. Like I still got to wake up once in a while. So yeah, that's life. That's where we're at. We're flying the same plane that I flew on Monday. The reason why I'm doing that is if you didn't know, Epic got their certification this week. So Epic Aircraft. Do they have a press release or anything for this? Yes. Epic has received its FAA type certification. Deliveries to start in December. So it's going from being a kit airplane to being a real honest-to-God airplane that you can buy, that somebody can buy and take up and go flying in. So I thought to honor that, we'll fly the same airplane again. And we'll probably start from where we started from before because I'm going to do some more FS economy stuff. So my little girl just started high school. Dude, are you serious, Bob? What was it, 2 years ago that I was out there and I saw you? I guess it has been that long, has it? Wow. Yeah, it's got to be pretty real for you, man. My nephew was, I think, in like, oh man, is he in 6th grade or 7th grade? He's definitely in middle school now. And yeah, my nephew is starting to enter the throes of puberty. So every time I see him, he's gotten just a little bit bigger. the voices change just a little bit. Like you can start to see that teenage awkwardness sort of starting to set in. I can't wait. Poor guy though. Thankfully or not thankfully for him, he's not going to be a very tall person. So like anybody who has gone from being a small person to a bigger person, one of the things that happens is that there's a point where you grow, and the rate at which you grow and the amount at which you grow doesn't necessarily keep up with your ability to control your extremities. So things start having more leverage. Things start being in places that you're not expecting them to, because your entire childhood, your arms didn't span 3.5 feet in either direction, or 3 feet in either direction, or whatever. And it's a very weird time. I remember that point in my life quite vividly. Every time I go to like gently close any sort of door or cabinet, it was just smack. And I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And I'm sure that small people have that problem too, but I think us big guys have our own special, like, just the extra leverage and crap to go with it. I don't know. I don't have any other experiences to compare it to. But it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be fun watching him go through all that. When you go from a small person to a smaller person, might be true when you get older and you shrink. Capri Mark 3, good to see you. My 11-year-old boy is a monster, says Bob. Oh yeah, I haven't. Yeah, right. Dude, I got to get up there at some point. One of these days, I got to fly up to Ottawa, say hi to you guys, come hang out for a weekend or something. Plastic Surgeon, I know, has an Epic on order. Oh man, Ben, when are you getting your Epic? When are you getting your airplane, man? Come on, you work in the medical industry. You're a doctor. Well, are you a doctor? Close enough. Anyway, let's say some thank yous and we'll get this show on the road. Go do some stuff. Go do some flying, I guess. I don't know. I had a couple of beers already today. It's been a good day so far. Space Daddy, good to see you, buddy. Starting off today with hey Stealth Bob, you subbed earlier, but I didn't get a notification. You gotta hit your button, man, at some point. But you're probably gonna save that, aren't you? So we'll pretend I didn't see that. Disgruntled Sailor with the 28 months. He says, happy 28 months. Thank you very much, my friend. Cheers to you, buddy. I hope you're doing well. I met Disgruntled Sailor a couple times at Oshkosh now, and I'm sure we'll see him again next year, right? This Show Not Found is here for 29 months with the tier 3 sub. This Show Not Found, thank you very much for tier 3 and 29 months. Cheers, my friend. He says, I have a button. What should I write here? 29 months and counting. That's what, 3 Twitch babies and change? Yeah, 3 Twitch babies and change. We'll go with that. So you get to name them, though. Cheers, my friend. Thank you very much. Dusty Prop is here for 22 months. Says, I bought some shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what he laced them with, but it was tripping all day. Wah, wah. Dusty Prop, thanks for 22 months, man. Cheers, buddy. That's a good one. Flash 23 Craig is here for 6 months in total. He says, hi, Ty. Hi, Craig. How you doing, buddy? Did you get your long cross country in last weekend? Did you get to go flying, dude? Good to see you, man. Saldino is here with the 100 bits. Thank you very much for the 100 bits, man. Says, I feel like the livery is English. Happy Friday. I'm going to say it probably has some English influence to it, yes. I'm not sure which part of it gives it away, but I think that might be the case today. Saltino, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Navarine's here for 21 months. Navarine, thank you very much for your continued support. Cheers to you, my friend. Navarine chose not to leave a message. Finally, Space Dandy here for 24 months. Says, can a 24-month sub unlock the Swimming Sea emote? They're gone. The Swimming Sea is no longer here. You would have had it. But I changed them all. Sorry, dude. Space Dandy, thank you very much for the 24 months. So I do appreciate it. Cheers. Guitar Picker 7, good to see you, my friend. You good? Awesome, Craig. Great to hear. Flash 23 is on his way to getting his PPL when he turns 17, and all of us are watching in envy. Envy or regret. I'm not really sure which one it is. I never knew what to put in the message. You put nonsense in the message. You put whatever you want. Don't be offensive. That's all. Just don't be offensive, or don't be overly offensive, we'll say. My favorites are like Chewy, who uses text to speech. So I try to figure out how to make the text to speech lady say the most nonsensical, crazy, just weird stuff. a lot of the times it turns into me going and finding a Hackney slang, British slang generator, basically, and going down that route and seeing like what sort of stupid stuff can I get this thing to say today. I love it. Yeah. Can I be defensive? You can be as defensive as you like, Bob. Yes. Friendly offensive is okay. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that offensiveness has these varying levels of what people are willing to tolerate. Like, let's put it this way. Okay. There are things that my friends could say to me that if one of you said them to me, I would probably get very upset. There are things that Stealth Bob could say that, let's say, Saldino probably could not get away with, because I have met Stealth Bob in person. I have known Bob for many, many, many years, and we talk. He's one of the small group of people that I talk to, maybe not on a daily basis, but we at least cross paths fairly often. So like, there's varying levels of offensiveness that we can go up. But when I say offensive, I mostly refer to, like, don't be racist, don't be misogynistic, you know, don't be homophobic. Like, those are the kind of things where it's like, just be considerate. You can give me crap pretty much as you want. I got pretty thick skin. Stealth Bob is very offensive. Yes, that's right. Wait till you see Stealth Bob when he's had half a case of Heineken. Or wait, is it a whole case of Heineken? It was a good time. We had fun in Florida. Put it that way. There was one more name I saw here. Linga TV, good to see you, buddy. Happy Friday. I think we got them all now. Navarine, happy Friday as well. We're here. We made it. It's Friday. We're gonna fly this plane. It's the Epic E1000. Epic got certification this week, which is awesome. They've been working on certification since, like, what, 2013 or something. Like, it's been a long road, and I think there's been more than a couple of bankruptcies that have plagued this company on the way. But they finally got their airframe certified by the FAA, which means that with any luck, maybe I'll start seeing these on the ramp at some point. Which would be pretty sweet. Like, I've seen a few TBMs and whatnot. TBMs are cool, but man, this plane is way cooler. This thing is, like, I've only ever seen these at Oshkosh, but this Epic has got way better ramp presence, in my opinion, than a TBM. It's like comparing a Lancer to an SR-22. Like, they're both fantastic airplanes, but you look at the Lancer, you're like, man, that's an airplane, dude. That thing is cool. That's the feeling I get when I look at the Epic. This Shit Not Found. Thanks for gifting us up to Peter North. He's a voice actor, isn't he? Thank you very much, man. I appreciate this. Appreciate the gifted sub. Cheers. John Fezza, what's going on, buddy? Is this the PMDG 737 Gen G3 Ultimation? You bet it is, dude. How you doing, John? Good to see you, buddy. Mr. Stanchez in the house. How you doing, Stan? Stan, how was your week back to work? The first time in what? Was it 4 weeks or 5 weeks that you were out? Long enough, right? PC-12 over the TBM. Well, the PC-12 and the TBM are two very different airplanes. PC-12 is a sort of cabin class, gonna carry a bunch of people around, run a charter operation kind of airplane. A TBM is, hey man, I own an airplane. This is how I get around now. Very, very, very different missions. They're still both very cool airplanes. Yeah, given the choice between a TBM and a PC-12, I'd probably take the PC-12 because, like, if money were no object, why not? But then why wouldn't you get something like a cooler airplane, right? I don't know. How much does a PC-12 cost? Oh, Peter North is a gay porn star turned straight porn star. Ah, yes. Well, thanks, Mortality, for that. And thank you as well to the Show Not Found for that. I hate you guys sometimes. So yeah, we're going to fly the Epic tonight. We're going to fly it on PilotEdge, and we're going to do some, I'm doing some FS economy hops. On Monday, if you tune into the stream, we flew into Half Moon Bay from Sacramento. So because my airplane is here in FS economy, this is where we're going to start tonight. Half Moon Bay is currently reporting 330, 10 knots, 5 mile visibility, overcast 600. As you can see, it's pretty gloomy out right now. So, yeah. So we're gonna make our way from Half Moon Bay then down to Santa Barbara. I tried to get a couple of longer legs for this evening, so we can get up there and stretch the legs and all that. We'll have like a pretend jet flight, if you will. We'll pretend that it's not GA Friday.
Retard.
We need to do GA on Friday once in a while, though. Just throwing that out there. So yeah, Half Moon Bay down to Santa Barbara, and then from Santa Barbara we're gonna make our way down to Palomar. And it should be a couple of nice flights. So we'll get some NorCal controllers, we'll get some SoCal controllers, and it will be a grand old time. Ellie Marcus, thank you very much for 32 months, my friend. Enjoying the stream. I'm enjoying having you here. Cheers, my friend. Thank you very much for your continued support. Appreciate it. Well, there's an ad, but it's for a plane that's not done. Lord Vold, good to see you. There's an E1000 on sale on controller right now. Oh, yeah. Ha, that's cool. How much do they want for the incomplete E1000? Okay, I need to go set my flight up on FS Economy. I forgot to add gas to the airplane. I mean, we would have been totally fine, but let me put get up to 250 gallons. Fill to 250. Set. And let me go plugins, X Economy, open, and login, and a stat. All right, so we got 4 passengers on board for this leg. It's Epic E1000. If you guys haven't seen this plane, I don't know where you've been. I love this airplane. I love flying this airplane. I just love this plane. So the opportunity or the willingness of me to fly this thing twice in a row in a week, yeah, it's fine. It's there. Yeah, so anyway, it's pretty easy to start. Let's make sure parking brake is set. Well, yeah, let's get some sound going too. Let's see, we need to also close the door. On Friday or Monday, we discovered there's like 3 click spots for this thing. There we go. And then get rid of the static elements. Oh, don't open the door. Keep the door shut. Ah, you piece of crap. I guess there's a button there I can click to close the door. Good to know. All right, start the airplane up. To start this airplane, battery 1, battery 2. We get some lights come on. We'll hear this thing start to come alive. Once again, make sure the parking brake is set. Power is back. Prop lever's off. Condition lever's off. We're going to go avionics off, left pump, right pump on. Starter gen is on. Igniter stays off for now. Starter is off. Everything else stays where it's at, except for the beacon and the nav lights, which will come on. We'll look outside. We'll make sure there's nobody out in front. Nope. Nope. Fantastic. We'll hit the start button. Once we hit that start button, we'll watch the NG. As the NG gets to about, I don't know, 15% or so, we'll engage the igniters. So there's 14, there's 15, so we turn the igniters on. I don't know why you do this. I read that this is how it's done somewhere. We'll wait for that NG to get up closer to 20% or for it to peak out. Okay, about 20% or so. We'll grab the condition lever, move it forward, and introduce fuel. Now, this plane, for whatever reason, it does always hot start itself. The ITT goes over 900 briefly, but then it will come right back. I don't know if that's normal or not. I have no idea. I'm not a PT6 expert. ITT's fine. We'll see the RPM start to come up. We'll see the torque come up a little bit here. Eventually, everything will stabilize, which it has. So we'll go ahead and turn off the igniters. Starter gen stays on. We can verify our voltage, our volts and all that. Amps are all set. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Just look at a bunch of stuff and make sure it looks green. Turn the avionics master on. Brings on the right 2 displays. And then we'll grab our pusher. Autopilot, trim, pressurization. Taxi light. We'll turn on the window heat, the inertial separator, the pitot install heat. And then we'll go full prop, full condition lever. Okay, that's looking good. So let's go 1 notch on the flaps. Takeoff flaps are set. Make sure our trims are set. We see the flaps coming down. We'll set our elevator trim. Like so. Boom. And then we will call up...
423. RW, you checked in. You wouldn't have gotten to 350 if you hadn't.
We're going to have Peter for our controller tonight. Controller has a fully built Epic at $2 million. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cheap. I left the luggage outside. Oh, crap. You said NG. That's clickbait. Winston, good to see you. Cosmic, welcome aboard Air Fubar. Happy Friday. My name is Jack. Thank you very much. I like my haircut. Seat back pocket, how you doing? This airplane get an update? I don't know, a while ago. Oops. We got an update a while ago. It doesn't have to have an update. I love the hot start TBM900. I just hate how the frames drop so bad when the avionics come on. Yeah. I mean, this airplane's a little bit framey as well. It's not awful. It's hard to tell right now because of the clouds and everything else, but like mid-30s is what I'm seeing at the moment, which isn't bad. All right, we're on 122.2. We are going to call up SoCal. Or NorCal, I should say. And grab our IFR clearance to Santa Barbara. NorCal, good evening. Epic 717 Tango Sierra, Half Moon Bay, IFR clearance Santa Barbara, please.
Number 717 Tango Sierra, NorCal approach. Clear to leave Santa Barbara Airport as filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 210, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 135.1, squawk 1706.
Clear to Santa Barbara as filed, 5,000 departure, 210 within 10. Departure 135.1, squawk 1706, Epic 717 Tango Sierra.
Epic 7 Tango Sierra, back correct, hold for release, advise ready for departure on this frequency.
We'll come. Okay, we're done with him for a few minutes. Cleared as filed. That's what I like to hear. So we'll go to flight plan. We'll go to menu, delete flight plan. We're at Half Moon Bay. So next, and this plane's a little bit weird to key in. You have to hit the FMS up, and then you can type in the first you can type in the waypoint, O, and then you have to hit the right key on the keyboard, S, and then I, and then enter, enter. And like you can do it here too. We could key it in here. Okay, so BS, like a normal G1000 would be, Big Sur. And then we can key in down here, but we have to do G, or you have to start it, and then G, and then like, I think no. And then you have to like go FMS right, and then V, and then FMS right, and then I don't think this is correct how this does it. So there's the three ways that you can enter a waypoint in. They're all just a little bit janky in this plane, if you ask me. A, B, U, T, and then KSBA. All right, so that's all set. So we got to figure out how to get out of Half Moon Bay now. So let me pull Air Server up here. So within ForeFlight, we're going to go to Half Moon Bay. We're going to load up the diverse vector area. And then we'll load takeoff minimums here. So we're looking for an ODP. Yeah, you know me. So we'll scroll to Half Moon Bay, California. This is what we're concerned with. So this is going to give us the departure procedure for getting out of here. Let's see. What is the weather? $3308. So we want to take off we have to take off. We'll take off runway 12. Doesn't appear to be a departure procedure for runway 30. Okay, so we'll take off runway 12. Climb runway heading to 3,000 feet. So we're looking right here. Climb runway heading to 3,000 feet. So straight ahead. 3,000 feet, then climb direct to the OSI VOR DME. OSI. Cross OSI at or above 3,500 before proceeding on course. Don't think that's going to be an issue because we're going to be more than 3,500 feet by the time we get to OSI. No problem there. All right, so let's clear you out. Good. Got that written down. Fantastic. That's all set. All right. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So next thing up, we'll set up our MFDs here, our PFDs, whatever, our displays. Altimeter at Half Moon Bay. 3018. That lines up with the field elevation. Good. Initial altitude is going to be 5,000 feet. That's set. I'm going to go VS. So VS mode gets activated. And then we'll go nose up to 1,500. So my initial climb out will be at 1,500 feet in heading mode. on runway 12, so we'll set 12 for our heading. So 120, or 120, I should say, for the heading. All right, so the initial climb out, then we've got the flight director set for that. So it's going to be heading 120, 1,500 feet per minute up to 5,000 feet. Once we cross 200 knots or so, then we'll go back to flight change mode and just climb out from there. So that's done. Click on the transponder button, go to code 1706, 1706, and we'll change transponder altitude. Good. So those two are set. That is now set. There we go. It's an epic you just climb. Yeah, pretty much. Asphalt, you don't hear that very often. Yeah, it's pretty much just from these untowered airports. Now I know what kind of flight plan I should plan for the evening. Got to take the E1000 back out. Honestly, love the plane. Yeah, G1000 upgrade was a real misnomer. They made so many improvements. Dude, it's a totally different airplane. Like the texturing is better. Everything about this version of the plane is so much better. All right, so one tip I will have for taxiing, and I'll show you guys this. I'll demonstrate this. So I'm gonna turn off the parking brake. So we're full condition lever, full prop. If I just let go, we're going to start moving, and we're going to start moving at a fairly high rate of speed. So 5 knots, 6 knots, 7 knots accelerating. That's not good. A lot of planes, the way that it used to work is you hit the reversers. So we could do that. I put the reversers on, and we'll start moving a little slower. But if I add throttle to it, we start moving backwards. We don't want that. So there's actually an X-plane. There's a beta key that you can bind. So I have a joystick button. One direction gives me reversers, okay, and you'll see up here on the instrument display, you'll see it'll say reversers, right? The other side of the key gives me beta. So I go into beta mode. Now when I'm in beta mode, when the throttle's all the way back, like full back, we're gonna go pretty quick. But if I push the throttle all the way forward, the props pretty much feather themselves. They basically straighten themselves completely out, and the taxi rate drops to a much more manageable 3 knots. So then I pull the throttle back. I'll get a little bit of bite from the throttle. We'll get a little bit of speed, and off we can go. So that's my pro tip for taxiing around in the Epic E1000, because otherwise it's pretty unwieldy and unmanageable. Remix reviews, good to see you. We are flying the Epic E1000 G1000 edition by Aerobask tonight. All right, CTAF frequency here is 22.8. 22.2 is our flight services. We'll contact them once we're short of the runway. Just taxi backwards. We could do that. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. But yeah, as I move these, so I'm like, you can't really see what my throttle is doing, but I'm about probably 80-90% forward on the throttle right now. If I go all the way forward, it's like that. It pretty much just coasts from there. And once you learn that trick, or once you utilize that trick, taxiing this plane becomes very, very, very simple. Of course, you still got to pay attention. What is tonight's drink of choice? I have a dinner, meat and potatoes dinner stout. That's the wrong runway. Yes, it is. We went the wrong way. Meat and potatoes dinner stout by Lord Hobo Brewing in Woburn, Massachusetts. It's very good. We'll go back to runway 12 now. Thankfully, I own this plane in FS Economy, so this doesn't really cost me anything. Epic is one of the few turbos that do this right. The Airfoil Labs King Air goes nuts in the alpha range. Yeah. Yeah, this plane...
Terminator 1000 bonus 100. This stream brought to you by Cloud Ahoy.
It is.
Subscribe today for free at...
Ah, yes. At that website. Yes. You can get a 30-day free trial. It's actually 31 days. Yeah, this is one of the few airplanes that they've done that they've handled the alpha beta modeling very, very, very well. The King Air is manageable, but it's not great. The TBM does it fantastic, but it does it in a Toto Rico does it in a completely different way. He pretty much does his completely outside of the normal X-plane way of doing things. Angelica is probably what I'm going to have later on tonight. Ryan, I have a 4-pack of those, and I got a 4-pack of Angelica, and I got a 4-pack of their dinner stout. I got 1 pumpkin head in the fridge and a few milk stouts. Dude, I should take a picture of my beer fridge later. I stocked up this week. At least it's easier on the taxi than the pocket rocket. Well, I think you can put the pocket rocket into a beta mode too, but I don't think it works very well. Like, I think it still goes really quick because it's got a lot of power. What airport and scenery is this? We're at Half Moon Bay, and it's the payware from the xplane.org store. I don't know any more than that. Yeah, unfortunately, I have no more information about what this airport is. If somebody has a link to it, by all means. Thanks for the definitive tip on beta and taxing the E1000. No problem. That's why we're here. Because once you get it figured out, it's actually quite enjoyable to taxi this thing. And you get the nice turboprop sound there. It's like there's a bite. Yeah. And if we go outside the plane. Oh yeah. They animate the prop disc? Nah, not really. Turbo sounds good. Yeah, turboprops are real good, man. Remix Reviews, how you doing, buddy? Mortality 6, happy Friday. Anthrax, thanks for the bits, by the way. Appreciate it, buddy. All right. All right, let's turn that back up now. It's a seal with wings. Orf, orf, orf. NorCal Epic 717 Tango Sierra is number 1, Half Moon Bay.
For 717 Tango Sierra, release for departure, clearance short if not everyone by 0100 Zulu, time now 0047 Zulu, report airborne on 135.1.
Okay, clear for departures by 0100 Zulu, and we'll talk to you in a few minutes. 77 Tango Sierra.
Number 8 Delta Lima, descend and maintain flight level 240.
Release for departure is the word I'm looking for. Okay, so we're switching over to CTAF. We've got 13 minutes to get off the ground here. Let's go ahead and turn the igniters on for this. Fuel auto selector can stay off. Everything else can stay where it's at. We'll turn the landing lights on. Strobe light on. Good there. It is 13 Celsius. There's no risk of icing going through this initial layer. We'll keep an eye on it as we go up. I suspect it's going to be a pretty thin layer, though, because usually fog is not more than like 1,000 feet or so. Okay, lights are set. Camera is now set, 35.1. Somebody asked me the other day what lights, camera, action was. So it's lights, camera is transponder, altitude, and our frequencies, CTAF and 35.1 for departure. And then action. Action is going to be flaps, trim, prop and condition, and everything else looks good. Go to the right. Go to the left. What does the sign say? No turns until reaching 500 MSL. Yeah, we're not worried about any of that because we're flying IFR. All right, let's go flying. So this plane, I usually go 80% on the torque until I'm off the ground, gears up, and the flaps are in, and then I'm going to go 100% torque. 100% torque on the runway is excessive and not really manageable.
4,900 feet remaining.
So I'll take myself out of beta mode. Five November Tango and 1 Sierra Tango will see you at approach. Excellent. All right, here we go. Let's go flying. A lot of right rudder. Good enough. Power set. Piece green. Airspeed's alive. There's rotation. Positive rate. Oh, I forgot to make a CTAF call. Half Moon Bay traffic, Epic 717, take a straight departing runway 12 straight out, Half Moon Bay. There. Alright, swing your flaps in. I'm going to go autopilot on, reduce the workload here. Yaw damper on. Let's go full power. It's a torque limiter, so you can pretty much just mash the throttle forward. As expected, 1,500 feet, we're breaking out. Let's go flight change now. Oops. Flight change 200 knots. Here's your breakout. At 3,000 feet, we can go direct. Oh, that looks really nice. Oh, yeah. Half Moon Bay traffic, 717 Tango Sierra, departing the area to the southeast. This will be our last call, Half Moon Bay. All right, so that's set. Let's go direct over here to Woodside, and then we'll go to nav mode. Nav is selected. Frames are struggling right now. NorCal departure Epic 717 Tango Sierra 5000.
For 717 Tango Sierra, NorCal departure ident.
Ident.
Bray Delta Lima, Earth number 717 Tango Sierra, radar contact 5 miles west of the Woodside VOR, climb maintain flight level 190.
Climb maintain flight level 190, position check 717 Tango Sierra.
November 8 Delta Lima,
okay, 190, flight change.
133.25.
And we'll bring our speed back to 200 knots. It's going to give us a nice big nose up here. 200 knots set, and flight level 190 selected. Oh yeah. See how that was just on the coast there too. Okay, after takeoff, gears up, lights are out, flaps are in and indicated. Power is set, lights are set, and we'll turn the inertial separator off. Turn the igniter off. And we'll turn the fuel auto selector on. And we'll change it over to... God! Change it over to the left side here. And we'll turn the igniter back on, I guess. I understand why that is the way that it is, but that feels like you're clicking it the wrong way. Like, to click on this side and have it go the other direction feels incorrect. Anyway, if that happens, just turn the igniter on. The prop is spinning. Gas is going into the engine. It'll restart itself. Yeah, dude, like that's annoying. That's like backwards. I did the same thing on Monday too. All right, there we go. Anything that allows loss of engine over mountains is incorrect. I agree. Jenny, again, it's good to see you. How you doing, Dr. Trenchcoat? Welcome aboard. Left hand milk stout from yeah, left hand milk stout is fantastic. Stout is fantastic. And the nitro, if you can find the nitro version on tap, it's even better. Definitely a top choice beer. Why is this plane? No, don't do that. I want to add rudder trim. That's aileron trim, isn't it? Trying to get this thing coordinated. So on a G1000, the turn coordinator is the bottom of the triangle here. You try to line the bottom of the triangle up with the top of the triangle, and then you're flying coordinated. And then the plane should stop, like, because the plane had a slight little roll to it where it was at, so it wanted a little bit of right rudder trim. You'd think the yaw damper would take care of that, but I don't know. Andrew, where's Sky? Good to see you. Why do I always tune in right before mid-air engine shutdown? It happens, okay? Don't judge.
Okay, so that's Lima, Salt Lake Center. I tried to give it to you a couple times here, but I couldn't get a hold of you. Contact Salt Lake Center 133.25.
3325. For him, not for us.
Number 717 Tango Sierra, contact Oakland Center 127.45.
2745, 717 Tango Sierra.
Number 8 Delta Lima, Salt Lake Center, how do you read?
I haven't had Peter as a controller for a very long time. 2745 is set. Shout out for Bent Paddle Cold Press. Now there's an excellent beverage. Never heard of it. Tango 99 Tango, good to see you. Soupy C, welcome aboard. Hope you guys are doing well. Oakland Center, Epic 717 Tango Sierra, 16,200 climbing flight level 190.
Number 717 Tango Sierra, Oakland Center, climbing tape file 210.
Level 210, 77 Tango Sierra.
Southwest 1, descend via detailer to arrival.
I'm going to fly over Pebble Beach.
One.
That I am. We'll look out the window for it here in a second. Peter's a bot, just saying. Peter's not a real boy. It's a stout / coffee beer. Now you're talking. Definitely my style. Purity chocolate milk is an excellent beverage for when you've had your wisdom teeth out and can't enjoy a bent paddle. Okay. Can I trade these points for an epic mount? No.
Southwest 3001, San Jose.
Sorry.
Attended John Wayne Airport, taxi to departure eBay transition, then is filed, climb via SID, squawk 4042.
If you want to give me 100 gold in classic, I'll give you 5,000 gold in retail. How's that sound? On my server, though.
Southwest 3001, read a correct minor amendment, climb via SID, except maintain 5,000.
Actually, there's a few servers we could choose from.
List 3001, read that correct.
Rigor mortis from Do Shield. How do you say that? Text to speech. Nope, don't want that.
Sent to radio check, please. Number 8 Delta Lima.
Number 8 Delta Lima, radio loud and clear. How do you read me?
Radio fine now, but we're very quiet. We're at
Do
240 at the moment.
That's what she's saying.
Do Decil.
Do Decil. I'll give it a shot if I can find it. How's the gamepad working? I haven't set it up yet. It's still it's on my list. Yeah, I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna hopefully set it up this weekend. I ended up just playing a lot of games last week, so I didn't really feel like tweaking around and configuring stuff. All right, 21,000 feet, 2902. We can turn the landing lights off. We'll pull the throttle back to about 1,500 RPM, so we'll grab the blue knob. We're going to watch NP up here, bring it back to 1,500. Actually, you know what? We'll do 1,600. Because as we pull the prop lever back, the torque also goes up. So if we cap out the torque, it means that we are potentially losing power and losing speed. So if I go to 1,600, that's about the time where the torque hit 100%. So we're not really losing much in the way of speed and whatnot. That's called rental power.
050.
Fly it like you stole it. God of Heaven in French. Gotcha. Might be giving me bad luck. It's possible, Andrew. It's all right, though. You can still stick around. Did I find Founders CBS this week? I did not see it, no. I saw a bunch of crazy beers, but I didn't go looking for anything super special. The last couple times I've gone beer shopping, it's been looking for quantity over quality, but without stooping down to like plain Ben Coors level of beer. Like, we're still trying to keep just some little bit of class here with the beers. All right. I don't think we're going to be able to see it. So we're over Monterey Bay. Monterey Airport's going to be down here. And Pebble Beach will be over kind of on this peninsula here. So we'll see if we can see anything out there. Watch the twerk. What? Over twerk. Oh yeah, I gotcha. Hey man, this plane auto twerks. Are we using these highlighted messages tonight? You can do whatever you want. I almost came down on Saturday this year when I found. I got stuff going on Sunday though. I can't make it down there. Maybe in a week or two we can do it. I still have Sam Adams Winter Lager. I haven't had a Sam Adams Winter for a very long time. Hazard Hound, it's good to see you, by the way. I still love the iPad with the sunglasses. Yep, it's pretty good. Oh, it pushes your Coors to the side. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it, by the way. If you want to drink a Coors, man, there's a time and a place for those kinds of beers. And I'm not one to judge what time it is or what place it is. I met up with a buddy of mine. We went to a local brewery just up the street, and before I jumped in for the stream and whatnot, and I had a nitro poured stout that was fantastic, as well as then a double IPA that is also very, very, very good. So we hung out. We talked to airplanes. He has a Discovery flight that his wife got him a couple years ago, and I think he's been too afraid to use it. So we're trying to convince him to use the damn Discovery flight and whatnot. I've taken him up a few times. Like, he's gone up with me probably 3 or 4 times. But yeah, he can't. So anyway, we were talking about instrument procedures and kind of all that stuff, and some of the flying I did a couple of weeks ago. Bent Paddle Baby, Minnesota only. Well, if you've got good beer you think I should try, then bring it to Las Vegas at Flight Sim Expo, and we'll try some beer. I will happily sit down. I'm going to make sure I'm down there for a couple of extra days, and I will more than happily meet up and crack a few beers with people. If there's some local stuff that you want to share. If folks are interested, I will do the same too and bring some stuff from my neck of the woods. I don't know where we would do something like that, but I think it's Vegas, and they probably don't care.
November 8 Delta Lima.
I'm having a PBR right now. I haven't had a PBR in a long time. I have no issue with PBR, by the way. As far as like the bottom of the bottom barrel of cheap beers goes, like PBR is probably one of your better choices. Just gonna say, need a couple extra days in Vegas. Yeah, I spent way too many days in Vegas the last time when Flight Sim Expo was there a couple years ago, or last year, I should say. But yeah. All right, Pebble Beach is somewhere down here, I think. Yeah, it's right. Or is it right there? It might be right there. That's it, right? This you're not found. It's on that peninsula, right? Or is it over here? Oh, it might be right here. I'm gonna go with right there. Not a beer fan. It's all good. You don't have to drink beer. You don't have to drink at all.
November 58144.
The Flight Beer Expo.
Bay Airport.
Yes.
Via Monterey 5 departure to the Shui intersection, and then as filed, maintain 6000. NorCal departure frequency 121.3, squawk 6541.
Life would be difficult without beer, says Ben. Yeah. Ben, are you back in Philly yet? Or are you still off in Never Never Land? And Ben, have you done any flying lately? I haven't talked to you in like weeks, months even, I think. Did I win anything in Vegas?
2144, read back,
PC
correct.
Aviator, good to see you. Yeah, so the last night I was there.
2144, runway 2 at left, taxi via Alpha.
So when I was there, first of all, I stayed at... Hang on, I'll show you where I stayed. I stayed at the Ellis Island Casino and Brewery. It was behind Paris. It was amazing. Like I went into this with less than zero expectations as to what I was going to experience, like going to see at this hotel, because it was inexpensive. It was off the strip. The goal was to be off the strip, and it just like for all intents and purposes, it shouldn't have been any good. Where is... Here it is. All right. Yes. Here's the place that I stayed. The Ellis Island Casino Brewery. This place is amazing, dude. They had $3 20-ounce beers, 22-ounce beers. The food was fantastic. I'm telling you, man, this place was podunk as can be. It was straight out of the 1970s, and I will 100% go back here again. It was awesome. Oh, it was $2. I'm sorry. Dude, Plane Ben came and joined us a couple times. And so that's where I hung out. Just for checking in and staying there, they gave me a free growler of beer to take back to my room, I guess. I don't know. So I did that. And they made the beers in-house, too, which is fantastic. Anyway, a lot of my buddies and I ended up hanging out here most of the nights after right around the time of Expo, because it was cheap beer, it was good food, and it was off the strip. It wasn't super crowded. It was just a really, really pleasant experience. So if you turned around over here, there's Paris. There was the Flamingo. There was the Bellagio was back there. Or that's, yeah, the Bellagio's over there. Cosmopolitan's right there. So like all the hotels and whatnot of the strip are right there a block away. And we were just kind of hanging out here. So anyway, the last night I was there, Jeff Faviano came down among other people, and we were just kind of hanging. And he's not a gambler, and I'm not really a gambler. And I said, hey, dude, you want to, like, we were drinking beers. I'm like, let's just go throw $20 in a slot machine and you know, have a little fun. So my $20 at one point we went to penny slots because, you know, that's what we do. The $20 ended up going all the way down. We can allow that. The $20 ended up going all the way down to like $3. And then I hit a couple of times, and I eventually got the $20 all the way up to $75. And I said, all right, I'm done. That's it. I paid for my drinks for the whole, I paid for my drinks for the night. I paid for my dinner for the night. I'm good to go. So I pulled my money out, I cashed out, and I called it quits. So I made about $55 in the slot machines in Las Vegas. And I was very happy with that. So that was my Las Vegas gambling story. Did I win anything? Yes. Not only did I win a little bit of money, I won the award for finding the coolest damn off the beaten path casino, hotel, brewery, restaurant in the area. Like, it was fantastic. And the other guys that were staying off the strip were pretty much like right behind me. Like, there was a whole group of us that were sort of in the same area. That place was legit though. I would absolutely go back there. And yeah, and like Ben said, if you gambled, you got free beer. So while I was gambling, I think I got like 2 or 3 of these 22-ounce monsters that was just given to me. It's like, all right, man, it's good stuff. Armchair Aviator, good to see you, buddy. Happy Friday. So yeah, I'm not staying there this time around because it's going to be a little bit far away from, the Tropicana. I will figure out where I'm staying once the time gets a little closer. The last few times I went to Vegas, so most of the times I've gone to Vegas, I've actually stayed on the south side of the strip. So that I'm a little bit more familiar with down there than the north side where we were at last year. Last year.
Whiskey, Seattle Center.
But I'm going to show you. We'll zoom in again. We'll zoom in again. We'll zoom in again. So there's the Tropicana. Okay.
River 681 Whiskey, clear to the Boeing Field Airport as filed. Maintain
you guys can probably already see where this is going.
Seattle Center, departure frequency 126.6, squawk 5363. Annually.
So there's the Tropicana right there, okay?
5 minutes.
And then there's the hotel where I stayed at the last few times I went to Vegas. Because they also had $2 beers. They had $5 blackjack. and they had super cheap rooms and a pretty nice pool actually. So I may end up doing the same thing there, where I just hang out at the old Hooters hotel and then walk myself a half a block, because I found that if you stay off the strip, like the amount of money that you spend and the deals you get are top notch compared to staying on the strip. It's great. Love it. Beer money, yes. Like, I'd rather skimp out on my accommodations and have a little bit more cash to spend on food and beverages and entertainment and whatnot, because I don't really care about the room. Like, the room is, I'm going to throw my crap in there. I'm going to spend very little time in the room itself. Flying American, good to see you. So yeah, no, the Hooters hotel was awesome though. Like, it was fantastic. Pizza parlor next to the brewery, yeah.
8 Delta Lima, 3 miles from Cord, turn left heading 220, descend and maintain 2000 till stops, localizer cleared, ILS Yankee 19 approach.
Oh, it was $1 blackjack. Oh no, you know, it was $3 blackjack the last time I went. $3 blackjack, but apparently Armchair Aviator got it for $1. Lost $200 at the MGM Grand, went there. It proceeded to lose another 20 on the dollar blackjack. Yeah, but you felt better about that. I've been to Vegas. Oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I think I've been to Vegas 5 times now, and I've lost, like, I've maybe spent 2 or 3 total hours sitting gambling. Like, I don't think I've lost more than $100 in Las Vegas. I've probably given more money to the Indian casinos down in Connecticut than I have in Vegas. Just how it goes, I guess. Maybe we can do Vegas and SimCon together. Yeah. Flight Sim Expo's a good time too. Like, it's a fantastically cool time. I kind of wish it wasn't in Vegas again, because, like, I'm tired of Vegas. But whatever. We can live with it. Vegas is easy to get to for the Europeans. Brain Machine, welcome aboard. I'm Googling Hooters Hotel in Vegas. It seems it's now Oyo Hotel. I see. Well, I will look at the Oyo Hotel then. And totally bring some cold press. Now we're talking. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do next year is organize some sort of unofficial / official meet and greet. Like, maybe like Friday evening, I'll say, let's all get together at a bar. Or at a place, I should say. I don't know what the under 21 laws are like for Vegas and whatnot, but I'd probably say, hey, let's meet like here at this time for an hour or two. You know, community can have some drinks and all that stuff and then have a good time, and then people kind of go their own ways for the evening.
Southwest 3001, sounds like ground, push on Zulu approved.
Because we don't want to get messed up on Friday night, I promise you. It's going to make for a very long Saturday. Ask me how I know. And you really don't want to get messed up on Saturday, because then it makes for a very, very long Sunday. Also, ask me how I know.
November 8 Delta Lima, verify your intercepted localizer there.
You can meet at the Taco Bell Cantina. Oh, dude, that's a good idea. Yeah, Heli Pilot, good to see you, man. Yes.
November 8 Delta Lima, you're
all right, so
the,
Flight Sim Con, the last Flight Sim Con that there was, I think it was, what, was it 3 years ago? 2 years ago? 2000, it would have been 17, I guess. Heli Pilot, good to see you, by the way. Heli Pilot 7 and I were sharing a room. And it was Friday night, and Chris had come down with a bunch of Canadian brews. I came over with a bunch of like local brews from my neck of the woods, and we realized suddenly that we had no way to chill said brews. So Chris, Chris has maybe got a little bit more street smarts when it comes to this stuff than I do, and so he said we'll use the sink. So we had our sink beers. So he leaves to go get ice. He's gonna literally fill the sink with ice and put cold water and put beers in there. He leaves, and he comes back to the room like 20 minutes later, and I'm like, dude, where the hell you been? Like, you just went to get ice, and how long did it take you? And he's like, yeah, I brought Dovetail. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, I brought Dovetail. This was when they were showing off Flight Sim World. And behind him literally comes Amy Sinjari, Chris Leona, Chris, I can't remember Chris's last name. It goes by Chris Leonis, but I don't think that's his real last name. And then like 1 or 2 other people from the Dovetail team come strolling into our hotel room. And so we sat down for the evening and we had beers with Dovetail. And then I called Alan Aerosim Gaming.
Sierra, descend to maintain 9000, Santa Barbara, altimeter 3003.
9000, 77 Tango Sierra. All right, 03 on the altimeter. So we ended up having a great little evening. Aerosim Gaming showed up as well, which we thought was going to be interesting because he was very critical of Dovetail and the sim and everything else. And he ended up talking for hours with one of the lead designers for the sim and all that stuff. So it ended up being a pretty fun evening. Just a lot of random people that showed up, and it was a good time. So yeah, Sync Beers. Those guys were so fun to hang out. Yeah, I was totally not expecting it. I was like, all right, yeah, I can get behind this. So that was our Friday night. That was back when that was back at the Sheraton where you couldn't get away from anybody at the Sheraton. Like it was pretty much like one of the only places to stay because that's also where the thing was at. And yeah, it was a little tough. retard. Armchair Aviator says, I figured watching you stream would make me feel better, but I just want to fly. It's all good, man. Thank you very much for the sub, by the way. Welcome to the Beer of the Month Club, Armchair Aviator. Cheers, buddy. I didn't miss anybody. No, we're good. But yeah, it's been a good time. Flight Sim Expo is definitely fun. I was debating whether or not I wanted to go, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta go. Like, I gotta go out there for that event. In fact, I'm probably gonna book my plane tickets the next couple of weeks, just to get that out of the way. It's like Survivor Nerd Edition. Only the strong could escape. Oh yeah. Yeah, we couldn't. Like, you couldn't get away. Like, if you wanted to have a private conversation, it was pretty much impossible. People were following and this and that. Like, it was a weird problem to have. We'll put it that way. I'm tremendously grateful for everybody who comes up and say hi and this and that. And I don't mean it like that. It's just like there's a point at the end of the night where it's like, all right, man, I want a couple of minutes, and it wasn't happening. Oh, I forgot to turn the fuel auto select on. Whoops.
Southwest 30-01-0830, right taxi via Zulu Alpha 1.
Oh. It automatically switch. It's on the right tank. Let's put it on the left tank. Ah!
Number 653, have a scale pass on request, standby.
Citation 8 Delta Lima is visual 19.
8 Delta Lima, clear visual approach 19er.
Clear visual 19er, thank you. 8 Delta.
When the engine dies.
Approach 120.55.
20.55, 77 Tango Sierra. We'll see you later. 2055.
Southwest 1, connect Denver approach 1.
Okay. Santa Barbara ATIS is 3265.
Kilo Charlie, contact tower 118.3. Good night.
T3, 1 Kilo Charlie.
3265.
CBN 55 November Tango Bakersfield ground. Give way to a Pilatus departing from the ramp. And runway 30 right, taxi via Alpha Bravo behind that traffic.
I guess we're not close enough for it yet. Interesting. Santa Barbara approach Epic 717 Tango Sierra, 15,700 descending 9,000 negative ATIS.
Retard. Santa Barbara approach. Santa Barbara weather, wind calm, visibility 9er. Skies clear below 2000, temperature 182.14, altimeter 3003. Expect vectors, visual approach, runway 25.
Thanks for that. We'll expect the vectors visual 2577 Tango Sierra. I don't know why I'm not picking up the ATIS.
Piper 2236, go.
Rama Thorn 1824, thank you very much for 5 months of support. It's an interesting sight to come back to the stream. Was going to say that if it had been too long since I've seen the old Epic, yeah, definitely one of my favorite aircraft that you've flown. Well, thank you very much, man. Cheers, buddy.
2236, go.
For better or worse, it's the second time this week we've flown this plane.
0707, runway 9er, cleared for takeoff.
But they just got their type certification this week, so it seems like it was only appropriate that we flew it. Tap it out, 21. Good to see you. Vegas is great. Go out there several times a year for the red and silver flag exercise. I'm not sure what that is.
Marchetti 71 Kilo Charlie Limburg Tower.
That's a little
Good
Bud Light. Your
afternoon.
beverage looks better. It's all good, man.
27 clear line.
Whatever you're enjoying is totally fine.
Buzz.
Ooh.
11 Sierra Tango
Traffic.
1270 at 4 runway 30 right. Clear for takeoff.
Ooh. There's a military flight out there. A couple guys. Got a lead, and you've got two fighters in formation with him, or loose formation. That's cool.
Cessna 1451 Uniform Bakersfield Tower. Fly straight at runway 30 right. Report 3 mile final.
Let's bring that rate of descent down just a touch. Coming down a little quicker than we need to.
Runway 30 right, line up white.
Contact Yoder, good to see you. You find us Santa Barbara? I most certainly am.
TBM
We'll be at Santa Barbara in about 15 minutes.
Runway for spacing off the previous departure.
Is Kevin messing on? No, I think they're drones. I'm fairly certain those are drones. You guys are coming in from Bakersfield. You better get in the air soon. We'll be down pretty quickly. About 15 minutes or so till I get down.
TBM 13 Whiskey.
Contact Yoder. That is an interesting name. Is there a story behind that name? What is that? Is that San Luis? Yeah, I think it is San Luis Obispo. Oh yeah, KSBP.
TBM 13 Whiskey, do you have ATIS?
Supposedly, it's 5 miles in haze.
Do you have current ATIS? After ATIS Sierra is current, advise when you have that.
Why do I not have the ATIS? 3265.
36 Golf, contact
Listening.
departure, good day.
Oh, hey. More traffic. That was close.
131 Kilo Charlie, contact ground 123.9, good day.
Oh, that's that same formation. Hunt 3. Be careful when you say that.
That's 1 Sierra Tango, contact departure.
Can you explain the difference in how to use flight level change mode versus another mode to change altitude? Sure.
3000.
So,
That's 1 Sierra
right
Tango,
now, I am... Oops.
Bakersfield
I'm up on
departure,
10,000
radar
feet, so I'll
contact,
slow it down a
maintain
touch.
8000.
So the two main ways to descend are
TBM 55 November
flight level
Tango,
change
runway
and
30
vertical
clear for
speed.
takeoff.
There's also pitch mode, but that's not really used that often. So when I descend this plane, I tend to descend it in vertical speed mode. So I hit VS, I dial in a vertical speed, in this case minus 1200. And what's happening now is the plane is going to manage itself at 1200 feet per minute down. Always. Like that's always going to be the descent rate it holds. So when you're descending like that, then you have to use the throttle to control your airspeed. So below 10,000 feet, we want to be 250 on the speed.
Squawk code is...
So we got to make sure we're using the throttle to control our airspeed.
Golf.
If I were to say switch this to flight level change, okay, which we'll do right now, flight level change 250. Now I'm using my throttle. The plane is always going to maintain 250 knots. So I'm going to use my throttle to change my descent rate. So if I if I put throttle in, the plane's going to start climbing. If I pull the throttle all the way back, the plane is going to start sinking like a rock to try to maintain that 250 knots. So we tend to climb in indicated airspeed mode because that makes sure that we're not going to stall the airplane. So as you climb, you basically keep a rate of climb going, or keep a speed going, and as you go higher, your rate of climb starts to come down because of the air becoming less thin or less dense, less bite, this and that. In vertical speed mode, if we were climbing in VS mode, it would maintain that 1,500 feet all the way up, which in this plane might be okay, but in other airplanes, in order to keep that rate up, you have to go nose higher, nose higher, nose higher, nose higher, and eventually you're going to increase that angle of attack. You're going to decrease your airspeed to the point where the plane's going to stall, fall out of the sky. So on the way up, we use airspeed, and on the way down, I tend to use vertical speed. Because I want to, I'm generally okay with speeding up coming down. I'm not okay with slowing down going up unless I say we're going to slow down. So those are your differences between vertical speed and flight level change. And then there's pitch hold mode, where you can control a specific degree of pitch in the airplane. Use that. Like, there's some airplanes where I use that, where it's not easy to dial in a speed per minute or something like that. But what that would do is it would hold the airplane at a constant pitch, and then adding power is going to increase or decrease your speed, which is then going to also increase or decrease your rate of descent or climb. But like I said, for me, climbing in flight change mode, in almost every plane I do this, and I descend in vertical speed mode. And you'll see me do it in this plane all the time. Every turboprop would be just like that. Eagle 11, what's going on, my friend? It's good to see you, buddy. In the Kodiak, you wait until you can see the airport, basically shut the engine off and land. Yeah, pretty much. Like, this plane will sink like a stone, too, if I pull the power out. Pretty much, like, most turboprops, that, like, when you flatten those blades out, you basically turn the entire prop into a speed brake. And so that plane tends to slow real quick. And most turboprops have that sort of behavior. If you've flown the Majestic Q400, like the Dash 8, you've noticed that as well. The plane will descend or slow down, but in that case, like, it generally won't do both. But like, if you pull that throttle all the way back, especially if you're configured for landing, like, that plane's just gonna drop like a stone. That's also why, like a lot of turboprops, you also keep power in even through the landing, because in some of the turboprops, the act of the air moving over the wings actually causes lift. And if you pull the power all the way back, you're not only slowing the plane down, but you're also reducing some of the lift on those wings. Nuances. That would be common in, like, the Q400. I think some of the Kingers have that issue as well.
Left heading 170, join Victor 183, resume navigation, climb maintain 13000.
170, join Victor 183, climb maintain 13000, TBM Flight Tango.
Lotus 1 Sierra Tango, contact LA Center.
So we'll do this first flight with night flying, and then the second flight I'm going to turn the sun back up.
125, what was it for 1 Sierra Tango? 125.27, 2527, good night. 2527, 1 Sierra Tango.
So yeah. Good question. Thanks for asking that. I don't think anybody's ever asked flight level change versus vertical speed. So yeah, that's a good one. Hey, there's the ATIS. All right, we'll give that a few minutes, and then we'll try to grab the ATIS again.
Lotus 1 Sierra Tango, Los Angeles Center, climb maintain 16000.
Now, one of the exceptions to that is going to be like in the 737-200, the 732 by FlyJ Sim. I tend to climb and descend that plane.
November Tango, contact LA Center 125.27.
I tend to climb and descend that plane generally using IAS mode because I want more control. Basically, because my speed trumps a lot of other things. Like, if we're on an arrival, so if we're flying a star that has speed restrictions, then I'm probably going to change my pace to descend using flight level change mode, because I want to maintain that speed restriction. So then I use my throttle to control my vertical speed. So there's always going to be little exceptions here and there. Like the FlyJ Sim stuff, a lot of times I'll even descend and climb using pitch mode, because it doesn't have an easy way to dial in vertical speed. Unspool at your own peril.
TBM 5 November Tango, what's your plan cruise airspeed?
As fast as he can go. About 8 minutes till we get down. This is definitely the longer of the two flights.
Lotus 1 Sierra Tango, what's your cruise airspeed going to be?
It's going to be a nice approach. Very pretty.
Lotus 1 Sierra Tango, roger.
I've used flight chains in the TBM-9, but I never really knew what it was doing with it. Just followed what I saw other people doing. So when you hit the button, it locks your IAS. Yeah. So the way that it works is you hit the button, and so when you're in vertical speed mode, you'll see a vertical speed show up here above that tape. Right now it says 0. When you're in flight level change mode, you'll see the airspeed show up above the airspeed tape, and you'll see it dialed in here. So that's how you can quickly know which you're in, also by looking at the green up here. But that's how you can quickly see what you're in. And then if you press nose up or nose down, so like nose down reduces the airspeed. Nose up would nose down would increase the airspeed. So nose up reduces the airspeed. Nose up or nose down increases the airspeed. Vertical speed mode, it works the same way. You can go to vertical speed mode, nose up, nose down, and it'll do that as well. I have those buttons bound on my joystick, so you'll see me a lot of times fine tuning my vertical speed using my joystick because of the buttons that I have bound there. So if you're in flight level change in the TBM climbs at like 150 knots, right? So you hit the flight level change button, it'll tell you the speed that it has set, and then you can use the nose up and nose down to dial that into exactly what you want to see. So let's say that we're flying the Eclipse. Okay, we're going to hit the Eclipse all the way to 41,000 feet up to its service ceiling. You start off at 200 knots. Okay, but as you're climbing, you need to bring that speed back, especially once you get into like the Mach numbers and whatnot. If you get really high in the 30s, so you're gonna set that speed initially, but then you're gonna dial that speed back as you're climbing, like 5 to 10 knots at a time, as you sort of see fit during your climb to try to keep that rate of climb up. Because as you're climbing, your true airspeed is increasing. So your speed relative to the ground and sort of the world and everything around you is increasing. So you can afford to lose some of that indicated airspeed, and you don't really lose any actual ground speed out of it. To the point to where you don't want to go too low, or else the plane's going to stall. That's bad.
I'll give it to you, but from present heading, join Victor 183, resume navigation.
So yeah, makes sense. Turboprops are especially like flight level change going up. Like any plane that doesn't switch to Mach mode. 6,000, 77 Tango Sierra. Okay. So to go to 6,000, we'll dial in 6, set. We can go to vertical speed mode, set. We'll press the nose down button to minus 1,500. That's set. As we go down now, our speed's going to start going up. So we're going to pull the throttle back. We're going to watch our torques come down, and we're going to use the throttle then to keep ourselves close to 250 knots. So we'll dial that in. Good. And then once you have that dialed in, you pretty much can be hands off. Like the plane's going to more or less stay in this configuration. You might have to pull it back just a little bit as you start getting a little bit closer. But you can more or less stay in the same configuration. Okay, 2-5, so we're going to be landing towards us. He's going to probably vector us out and around.
7 Tango Sierra, depart habit, heading at 100, vector visual approach runway 25.
Depart habit 100, vectors visual 25. We have the airport too when that helps. 7 Tango Sierra.
Epic 7 Tango Sierra, roger, death, thanks.
Okay, so I have a button on my joystick here, where I'm going to set the heading bug, so I can go right,
Epic 7 Tango Sierra,
go left.
approach clearance for you in about another 15 miles.
7 Tango Sierra, thanks. I've also got a button if you watch my vertical speed.
TBM 5 November, Tango, contact LA Center 135.5 today.
Okay, I've got a button here so I can go down faster, or we can come up a little faster. So there's 1,200 feet, there's 1,500 feet, there's 1,700. So that's super, super helpful to have that, along with having the heading bug as well. Normally I'd have the course bug as well, but I don't have any free buttons for that. So course will come soon.
LA Center, Bakersfield altimeter 3010, resume normal speed.
As you get lower, the prop starts to get more bite, the air starts to get more dense, so you do have to pull the power back a little bit as you're descending. Otherwise, you're going to overspeed that 250 knots. Same thing during the climb. During the climb, the opposite happens. The prop gets less bite. All right, Santa Barbara Tower is 19.7. You can cue that up here.
Class 1 Sierra Tango, descend and maintain 9,000.
There's our altitude, so we're going to end power. 19.
Class 1 Sierra Tango, descend and maintain 9,000.
So we leveled off. We'll make sure we have a little bit of power. Keep that speed 250 knots. At this point, there's no reason to go any slower than that. That's all on my Warthog. So the heading and the vertical speed are actually on my joystick over here. They're bound to the bottom right hat switch, the one that looks like a cross. That's where I manage all that. So I like to keep that on my left hand whenever, on my right hand whenever possible. 4,000, 7 Tango Sierra. All right, so 4,000. Vertical speed. Push that sucker down. Hold power. There's habit, so let's go heading mode. Boom. Heading 100. So what he's doing is he's going to send me slightly out towards the sea. Basically, he's going to send me slightly to the right of the airport.
Okay, 71 Kilo Charlie, Lindbergh, clearance on request, come by.
Far too many kinds of speed, yeah. Vertical speed, airspeed, true airspeed, calibrated airspeed.
Okay, 71 Kilo
Ground
Charlie,
speed,
Palm Springs Airport.
Mach speed.
Fly heading 310, radar vectors 2.
I like the idea of putting the heading bug and VS on the hat switch. Yep. So not only is it VS for me, it's whatever. Like it's actually bound to autopilot up and autopilot down. So if I said, okay, I'm going to go flight change mode. Now if you watch in flight change mode, oops, that same button now controls my airspeed. So if I want to say, all right, let's descend to 240 knots, it's going to nose over and I can do that. So autopilot up and autopilot down is a fantastic a tool to have.
Okay, 1 Kilo Charlie, back.
In your little tool belt there. In my case, unintended airspeed, it happens. So yeah, I mean those are like two fantastic tips I have for you, because then when you're hand flying, you can very easily switch your heading bug. You can very easily switch what your flight director is telling you.
TBN November 13 Whiskey, level 5000, 175 in the heading.
TBN 13 Whiskey, SoCal departure, radar contact, climb maintain 6000.
6000, 13 Whiskey.
Epic 7 Tango Sierra, contact. Air correction clear, visual approach runway 25.
Clear visual approach runway 25, 77 Tango Sierra. All right, autopilot off. Go and start down. I also have views on my joystick, so I can put myself. We're basically on a downwind, so we'll just start a nice easy descent down to 1,500 feet or so. Get ourselves in something resembling a traffic pattern here. While I'm at it, I'm just going to turn the flight director off because I don't need it anymore.
Right heading.
I'm also then going to set the heading bug to 250, and that's going to tell me approximately where the runway is at, or which way the runway is going. So we're going to pull that prop all the way back, really get the sucker slowed down, so get that descent going. So there's 2,500. We're going down for another 1,000 or so. The heading bug is telling me the runway direction,
TBN 13 Whiskey,
which is going to help me keep in line with it.
I didn't see you on my scope there, that's why I didn't give you the handoff.
Everything seems fine on my end.
Roger, I'll keep an eye on you, thanks.
Now I know there's a big hill up here.
7 Tango Sierra, contact tower 119.7, good day.
Tower 19.7, 7 Tango Sierra, see it. Santa Barbara Tower, Epic 717 Tango Sierra, visual 25.
Epic 717 Tango Sierra, Santa Barbara Tower, wind column runway 25, quit land.
Good land, runway 25, 717 Tango Sierra. So I know the road is too far north, so we definitely want to stay south of that. I know there's some terrain and whatnot up here to contend with, so we're going to be careful about that. Keep a little bit of altitude.
Okay, 71 Kilo Charlie.
I see hold short lines out there. I do not see. I see runway marking lights. I don't see or see taxiway markings, I should say. I don't see my runway just yet, so we're going to go gear. First notch flaps. So this has pretty much got us on almost a base, and we know it's a base because our heading bug is now 90 degrees to the left of us. Nice easy descent rate, 1,000 feet to go. I got a pretty good idea where that runway's at just because I've been in here a few times. 1,000's checked.
TBN 13 Whiskey, fly heading at 360, join Victor 8, resume on navigation.
Okay, I see the runway edge markers, so we're good. So let's go ahead and start turning in here. Power back, speed back.
Tango, contact.
A lot of trim, 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 a lot of trim. Full flaps. A lot of nose forward now.
87 Kilo Charlie, short at 7.
TBN 5 November Tango.
Looking for about 90 to 100 knots for the approach speed there. You put that last notch in, it takes a lot of trim to keep this thing
500.
flying level.
Charlie November Tower, runway 27, clear for takeoff.
Okay, 4 whites, a little high.
T7, 1 kilo Charlie.
300.
3 by 1. 2 by 2 is good. A little slow.
First 110 Tango, stand over approach, descend and maintain 7000.
Lined up.
Visual approach,
I got my
runway
aiming
25.
point. Still a little slow, add a little bit of power.
TBM 55 November Tango, stand over approach.
Got my point, we're
Visual
good.
approach, runway 25.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Just got
Number 13
idle
Whiskey,
reversers
Queen
here.
Haim, Alpha Hotel, Echo India, Mike.
Reversers off, we'll go to beta mode.
November 1 Sierra Tango, turn left heading
Turn right on
120,
Charlie here.
descend and maintain 6000, active approach.
Actually, you know what? We'll head down to Atlantic. We'll go Foxtrot. We'll head down to Atlantic. We always get a
November 1
signature.
Sierra Tango, descend and maintain 6000. November 7 Tango Sierra, taxi to parking via Alpha Mike. Hold short of runway 15 right, monitor ground.
Alpha Mike, hold short 15 right, on the ground, 77 Tango Sierra. Ground point 7. Okay, we'll monitor that.
Mercury 1 Kilo
Landing
Charlie,
lights,
contact,
strobe lights off,
Departure 1 kilo Charlie.
flaps in. I never did get the ATIS, no. He gave me the weather conditions though, so I wasn't super worried about that. If there's anything I needed to know, he would have told me.
Mercury 71 Kilo Charlie, so-called departure at contact, climb and maintain.
We didn't pick it up until we were only about 20, 30 miles out, and by the time I was getting it, by the time I would have gotten good reception on it, there was just way too much going on. So that was bottom of my list of things to care about.
Tango, descend and maintain 7000.
Cookies are better signature though. That's fair. Gotta change it up once in a while, man.
November 717
Ventus
Sierra,
Vox,
over
good to see
ground,
you.
cross runway 15 right and
How do pilots find out the
15
airport
left
elevation before they go there?
Have a good day.
That's a good question. I can actually well, I'll show you that here in a second. Actually, yeah, I'll show you that here in a moment. Finish this taxi, and I can show you where the elevations are in a few places.
TBM 5 November Tango, turn left heading 120, descend and maintain 6000.
Let's see if he gives me clearance.
Approaching runway 15 right, 33 left.
Santa Barbara Epic 717 Tango Sierra holding short 15 right.
Epic 7 Tango Sierra ground, cross runway 15 right and left at Echo.
Cross runway 15 right, left at Echo 77 Tango Sierra.
TBM 5 November Tango,
We'll hold short 15 left.
then descend and maintain 6000. TBM 55 November Tango, reduce speed to 200, then descend and maintain 6000.
I didn't hear clearance. I was probably too busy talking.
33 right.
November 1 Sierra Tango, descend and maintain 4000. Mercury 1 Kilo Charlie, fly heading 330.
Gotta hold short of this one too. I didn't hear the clearance, so that's probably on me. Ground Epic 77 Tango Sierra holding short 15 left.
Epic 7 Tango Sierra, for the third time now, cross runway 15 left at Echo, we'll see you.
Cross 15 left at Echo 77 Tango Sierra. For the third time.
Runway 15 left.
November 1 Sierra Tango, turn right heading 250.
It's snappy. Never read it back. All right. Yeah, I just heard hold short. I got hold short 15 right. I never heard 15 left anything. Whatever.
November
It's
1
fine.
Sierra Tango, descend maintain 3000. Airport will be 12 to 1 o'clock and 10 miles. Report inside.
All right, so we're gonna come out of beta mode. Let's go you off, 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 off.
November 1.
Avionics, starter gen. Prop back. Condition levers back. Condition levers off. Pumps. We'll leave the battery on for now. How's Chonker's diet? Dude, she's not even finishing the food we're giving her. So she's not been begging for food or anything because she's like not even eating everything that we're giving her. So it's like, all right, man. Welcome to Santa Barbara. We made it. We made it. We made it to the airport. Sim-isms. That's all right, man. I don't get uptight over anything. In the real world, you would never make any assumptions about runway crossings or anything like that. Like, unless it's explicitly been stated and read back, it hasn't been given. So. And you hold short of every single runway at all times. We will see. Actually, let's do this. Let's plug the GPU in.
Clock 4 miles westbound, Pilatus at 3000. Report inside. TBM 5 November Tango. Follow the Pilatus, clear visual approach, runway 25, number 2.
Catch these guys landing here. While I go stretch my legs, get some more water.
November 11 Sierra Tango.
Yeah, it's an Austin Powers airplane. That's a good reference right there. I like that. Got to have the Healy showing up and picking us up. All right. So we got Anthrax and Flash 23 both
Santa
coming
Barbara
in here.
Tower, Pilatus 110 Tango, visual for 25.
That's Anthrax. He's a student pilot. Behind him is Craig, Flash, who is also a student pilot. Craig, however, Flash has done his long solo cross country now as of last week.
TBM 5 November Tango, contact tower 119.7.
It's currently inactive at my home base. I'm always cleared to cross it shortly after landing, but then I always re-ask. Yeah, same thing. Like even if the runway's closed, like always ask, dude.
TBM 5 November Tango, contact tower 119.7.
Don't crash, said Serby.
Brigade 1 Kilo Charlie, clear direct Julian, climb and maintain 1000. November 13 Whiskey, descend maintain 5000, contact Circle approach 135.4.
Oh, right. Well, we'll watch them land. I'm going to step away here for just a moment.
Santa Barbara Tower, TBM 500 Tango, visual runway 25.
If you are
TBM 5 November Tango, Santa Barbara
taking
Tower,
off, thanks for stopping by. If you're sticking around, we'll see you here in a few minutes. Enjoy these chuckleheads landing and taxiing, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Here, what was the song I was supposed to play? I think that one. There you go. All right, folks. We'll be right back.
TBM 13 Whiskey Circle approach, San Bernardino altimeter 3003. Advise when you have information whiskey. Fly heading 030, vector for
Information whiskey is current.
Number 13 Whiskey, descend maintain 3400. Number 13 Whiskey, descend maintain 3400.
John Clarence, good evening, Viper 17 to Santa Barbara.
Number 1 True Whiskey Roger, descend maintain 3,400. Viper 17 on request standby. Money 153, Mike Sierra Santa Barbara approach squawk 2054.
Santa Barbara Tower, Pilatus 1 Sierra Tango, clear 25 at Bravo.
Pilatus 1 Sierra Tango, taxi via Bravo Charlie, monitor ground, have a good day.
Bravo Charlie, monitor ground 1 Sierra Tango.
November 1 True Whiskey Roger, I couldn't reach you earlier twice, actually 3 times for the descent. My guess is you switched to the ATC frequency and left the ATC frequency. You're supposed to monitor both at the same time. If you only have one radio, you need to request a frequency change. November 1 True Whiskey, no problem, clear visual approach, runway 6, contact San Bernardino Tower, 119.45.
Let's see how he does. How did Anthrax do?
Money 3 Mike Sierra Radar contact Santa Barbara altimeter 3003.
Dogs, what's going on, buddy? Happy Friday. Kirby, good to see you. Bill Ferrelli. How you doing, man?
Altitude indicates 2,000.
I was super dark on my screen too. Yeah, there's not a lot of lights out here by Santa Barbara. That's why I don't do a lot of night flying. It's just way too dark. All right, here comes Flash. In the TBM. Hey, there's Kevin.
Barbara Airport via flight heading 175. Ready vectors to Santa Catalina. Venice filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect 10,000 5 minutes after departure.
Taking off out of.
Frequency 128.1. Squawk 4023.
175.
Oh, he's flying with Bill Ferrelli.
5,021.
Bill, you streaming tonight, man?
San Bernardino
Oh, there you go. Smooth. Flash knows what he's doing. Is he going for the signature cookies or the Atlantic cookies? What do you think? Oh, I'm going to say he's going for signature. Nope, never mind. Coming to Atlantic. Yeah. Making the smart choice.
Alpha Mike will hold short 15 right, TBM 5 Tango.
Okay, so let's see what he gets. He got a hold short 15 right. Let's see when he gets his cross clearance.
Spelled Kilo Whiskey Alpha November Golf. Direct Ventura. Spelled Victor.
I'll be tearing it up in your neck of the woods. Fantastic.
Victor 208.
We're heading down to Palomar, so maybe we'll see you on this next leg.
Spelled Hotel Uniform Bravo Romeo Delta.
I barely have a taxiway at my base. A runway, 2 hangars, and some gas.
Alpha Romeo Delta.
It's a little busier where I fly out of. Anthrax says he landed good.
Spelled Mike Zulu.
Retard.
Valstar, thanks for 6 months, my friend. I do appreciate it, buddy. Cheers. You're the best.
Departure frequency 120.55. Squawk 5057.
Yeah. Oh, so somebody asked how we do elevations.
Cleared to San Diego via
we got it. Hang on.
Vectors to Quang, direct VT.
What are the instructions going to be?
208, then Hubbard, direct Cardi, Mission Bay.
Is it going to be 15 right and 15 left?
3000, expect 9 and 5 minutes. Departure 12055, squawk 5057.
Correct. TBM 55 November Tango, Santa Barbara ground, cross runway 15 right and 15 left.
Oh, he got both.
Cross 15 right, cross 15 left, and to the ramp is on Echo, TBM 5
I don't think I got both. Fairly certain I did. Did I miss a lot, says Bird Strike. Yeah, I missed the first flight. All right, somebody asked how we do airport elevations. So when I pull 4 flight up here, let me show you. Boom. So this VFR chart. VFR chart tells us a lot of things. A lot of information on the VFR chart. And when you go for your PPL, they're going to probably ask you a lot of questions about the VFR chart. So when we look at the information block for Santa Barbara, there's a lot that we can glean from this. Obviously, we've got the airport name and its 3-letter abbreviation. or 3-letter code. We have our control tower frequency, 19.7. What does the star mean? I forget what I forget what the star means. Somebody tell me that. Also means that it's a CTAF frequency by having the enclosed C right there. Okay. Then we've got the ATIS frequency. Yep. Star is lighting. Oh, okay, it's got lighting. Gotcha. Okay. Then what is important is this. So what this tells us is that it is 13 feet above sea level. That's this guy right here. So there's your airport elevation, 13 feet above sea level. Again, I think that the star L indicates some sort of lighting. And 6.0 is the length of the longest runway. So in hundreds. So this is the longest runway here is 6,000 feet long. That's our not CTAF, Unicom frequency, 2295. And then down here, this is a little extra information. So it's telling us that we use right pattern on runway 7, 33 left and 33 right. So runway 7 is right. Oops. Runway 7 is right pattern. Okay. And then 33 left and 33 right are both right patterns. So they both go right turns out and around. Interesting. So they basically try to keep you out to sea as whenever possible. So yeah, there's a lot of information there. And if you look at any block that's out there, you can like gather the same stuff. Let's just pick a random airport. Like, okay, that one right there. Delano, same thing. So I look at Delano, I say, okay, immediately, Delano's 316 feet AGL, longest runway is 5,600 feet, 22.8 is CTAF, runway 14 right pattern. Weather observation is on 1955. All right, great. Let's go to the next airport. Porterville, same thing here. 443 feet AGL, 5,900 feet is the longest runway. Yada yada yada. You get the idea. So there's a lot that can be gleaned there. The other place you can find the airport elevation is on the airport diagram. Somewhere on this airport diagram, you will see airport or field elevation in a big box, and it'll give you a number. So 13 feet is the field elevation. And it'll point to the spot where that elevation is 13 feet, usually somewhere in the middle of it. And that's the official airport elevation. So there you go. How to read charts. A poem by Mr. Catstrator. Benedict Fox, good to see you, man. Yeah, no problem, man. That's we're doing procedures and VF and GA stuff tonight, so we may as well talk about that stuff. It's going to be a different crowd watching these kinds of streams most of the time. It helps me anyway, because I'll be starting my CFI here eventually. Delayed it a little bit, mostly for financial reasons. It turns out getting a CFI is going to be a little expensive. I should say getting the commercial and then CFI is going to cost a little bit of money. So I'll probably push all of that back until after the holidays at this point, just because we've got some travel and all that stuff coming up. I'm a great teacher. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Wait till I'm actually officially able to teach this stuff, right? Then we'll sit down and we'll talk about it for hours. Believe me, at some point when I'm working on my instructor rating, we're going to sit down and we're going to be doing lessons on the stream. And it's going to be, all right, let's do a CFI lesson. Okay, let's go out and teach it in the virtual airplane. There's definitely going to be some streams like that, I promise. All right, so we got 4 flight up here. Let's plan the next flight. Actually, let me do FS economy, and then we'll plan the next flight. So that's good. Are there any other passengers on my route? No. It's fine. Let's grab all these guys. Yeah. Okay, let's go add fuel. Pac West 250. Actually, this is going to probably have a tech route, isn't it? So now we're going to go to my flight route. Oops, not Facebook. Why the hell did it load Facebook? All right, so let's get rid of this. We don't need this right now. Okay, so we need to find a tech route for this. I think it's a tech route for this one.
Terminator 1750 bonus 175. Be my teacher, big boy.
Anthrax, thank you very much for the bits, man. I really do appreciate it. I'll do the teaching, I guess. Cheers, man. Speed my PPL's going, I'll be able to come down and get training. That's entirely possible. Come join my flying club. Okay, so we want to do tech route search. ZLA, departing from SBA, departing from KSBA, heading to KCRQ. So when you're flying within SoCal, you're limited as to the routes that you can fly. They have these prearranged routes that go everywhere. So, and they're all coded. So we're going to be flying the Santa Barbara Alpha Papa. What the hell does that even mean? The SBAP. And find our code. So Q is non-jet, P is non-jet, M is turboprop. Ah, that sounds like us. So we're a P. Oh, so we're an M. So we fly with the M's. So M090 is listed here. So we're going to fly 9,000 feet for this next flight. And we're going to fly via Quang, Ventura, Victor 208, Santa Catalina, Victor 208, Oceanside at 9,000 feet. That sucks, but let's get a little higher. Although it doesn't matter because our speed is going to be 250 no matter what. All right, so let me punch that into 4-flight. So we'll punch that in real quick here. KSBA, Quang, Ventura, Victor 2008. And that actually just goes straight to Oceanside. So we'll just do that. KCRQ. If we take a look at that, sanity check, all that makes sense. I don't like the overwater segments in a single engine turboprop, but we're not going to lose an engine, so it's fine. Okay. And then we'll go file that on, I almost said flight edge, PilotEdge. And we'll go to pilot. I already have the flight plan up here. So IFR, November 717 Tango Sierra, Epic, Slant Lima, 250 knots or so, KSBA, KCRQ, 9,000 feet. And we're going to fly the SBAP 26. File that. We're probably going to get assigned a departure out of here, if I recall. The Quang 5, I think, is what we'll end up seeing. Yeah. So they'll almost certainly give us the Quang 5. Which is easy enough to fly. To Quang. Okay. Great. Let's get the ATIS and we'll go flying. Boop. Hi. How's it going? X economy, open that. Start flight. Got people, we got gas. Let us close the door. Get rid of the static elements. Close the door. Get rid of the GPU because we don't need it anymore. We'll start this old engine up here. Avionics off. Left fuel pump, right fuel pump. A starter. Gen is on. That igniter is off for now. Starter's off. Fuel auto selector's off. Pusher's off. All that stuff stays off. Those two can both go off. Beacon light, nav light on. Parking brake is set. Prop lever's back. Condition lever's back. And we'll hit the starter. NG starts to rise. 15% NG. We'll hit the igniter button. Go. 20%. We will add fuel. Can you talk about finding the highest obstacle in your plan that you need to clear? VFR or IFR? All right, 20%. Add fuel. Okay, that's up. That better discharge light went out. We got amps, we got volts. Good. Igniter can turn off. Avionics master can turn on. Pusher can come on. Autopilot, trim, pressurization, air can come on. Pitot heat, inertial separator, windshield heat, or windshield heat can come on. Condition lever flight. RPM's maxed. Good. ATIS 3265 set.
Taxi.
Oh, Geneva's on now.
Information Lima 0153 Zulu. Wind 090 at 3. Visibility 8. Sky condition clear. Temperature 17. Dew point 14. Altimeter 3004. Arriving and departing runways 15 left, 15 right, 25. Visual approaches in use. VFR departures, contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Lima.
Okay, we have Lima.
Thanks. Radar vectors quiet.
Okay, so IFR, Bill. If you go to your routes page. So, the routes from ForeFlight will tell you what to look for. Otherwise, you're going to go to the low en route chart, so low en route, and you're going to look for airways that you're flying along and say, okay, what are the maximum or what are the minimum altitudes for those airways? So there's 5,000 feet on Ventura, on Victor 208, 4,000 feet, 4,000, 3,000 with the Mocha of 2, 3,000, yada yada. So 5,000 feet, I can say is probably close to what the lowest that we'd want to be. But then you also notice altitudes out here. So there's the altitudes along the airways, the MRAs, the minimum the MEAs, I should say, minimum en route altitude. There's MRA, minimum reception altitude. Then there's also Maroka, minimum off route clearance altitude, something like that. Which is this guy right here. So these are probably more useful for when you're not flying. So when you're flying on an airway, it's easy. Use the altitude from the airway. When you're flying off the airway, you're going to look for pretty much these Marokas. And that's going to tell you about how, that's going to guarantee you IFR separation from all obstacles in that area. So 11,100 feet out of here, if we were going to go this way, okay, I'd want to be at least 11.5 if I'm VFR, or I'd want to be at 13 if I was IFR. I'm not showing you ForeFlight, am I? There you go. Yes. So right there is the Maroka. So yeah, as I was saying, if you're flying in this direction, 11.5 for VFR, you wouldn't use, actually that's the wrong statement, because you wouldn't use this chart for VFR. So if I'm flying in that direction, I'd want to be probably 13 plus if I'm flying to the east. If I was flying to the west, I'd want to be 12 plus, right? I want to be higher than that altitude. So that's one of the numbers you use. Then there's the numbers on the airway chart here. So 5,000, that's the highest altitude that we have on Victor 208, or the highest floor we have on Victor 208. And then on the VFR side of things, same idea. You're going to see these blue numbers everywhere. In this case, there's 7.2, there's 9.2, there's 6.7, and yeah, 4.4. So those are going to be your obstacle clearance altitudes on the VFR chart, which guarantee you, I think, 1,000 feet from the closest obstacle. So like, again, if we're flying in this direction, right, we know that flying through this little sector here, we're going to be 9.2 is the highest there. So I'd probably want to be 9.5 if I was flying up in here. All right, so if we start looking on our path and we say, okay, what obstacles exist here? Oh, well, there's 8,840 feet. So we want to be, 9,500 feet would be a reasonable altitude to clear that mountain. Now, if I wanted to go around that mountain, I could obviously do that and go lower. But those obstacle clearance altitudes are key for what you want to look for. So hopefully that helps. It's a day of learning. X-Play Master, good to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for 14 months. I do appreciate it. Cheers. I think it was whiskey somewhere else. Yeah, we get the iPad now. Sorry about that. That might be the first time I've forgotten to put it up, as opposed to forgetting to take it down. Alpha 1A, good to see you, man. Yeah, Epic E1000 was certified yesterday. Yes, it was. And that's why we're flying it tonight. Abso-freaking-lutely why we're flying it. Because I flew it on Monday as well. I don't normally fly the same plane twice in a row, but we make an exception for this one. This is a monumental moment.
North FBO, ready to taxi with Lima.
Altitude, and if flight following is requested, read back all runway assignments and hold.
32 9
Taxi via Juliet, runway 25, 12 Tango.
Habit 5 full contact Los Angeles Center 135.5.
There's more nuances and whatnot to picking altitudes. Like then you can eventually get into things like the altitude for obstacle altitude for instrument approaches and stuff like that, like minimum safe altitude, the MSA, yada yada yada. But the easiest thing to do is to look for those numbers and just kind of go off those, or go off the airways you're flying along. Ventus Vox, thank you very much for your support and welcome to the Beer of the Month Club. Cheers. The amount of knowledge inserted in my brain from catstrator in a short amount of time was priceless and for free. Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Evening, United
We're having a good time tonight. I love talking about this stuff. Like, the more I talk about it, the better I understand it. Like, you don't truly know something and understand something until you're able to explain it to people. And you're definitely not in that position and truly know things until you can explain it many different ways to people.
Contact Los Angeles Center 135.5.
And that's, you know, ties keys to success, if you will. All right, let's get our clearance, though. Let's go flying.
United 722, Lindbergh, ground 555.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Why does an airplane stall? Because you exceed the critical angle of attack. Lift is no longer present on the wings, and it stalls. How does an airplane fly? If you get two people to give you the same explanation for how an airplane flies, I will give you a prize. Because nobody can seem to agree on a standard for how to describe the physics behind how an airplane flies, because everything we learned in school was mostly wrong. Or incomplete, I should say. Magic is exactly it, yes. Money goes into the gas tank, exhaust fumes come out the back, and happiness is above you. Clock you and Eddie, what's going on, man? Happy Friday. Chi-Town Sooner, happy Friday. It's good to see you. Santa Barbara clearance, good evening. Epic 717 Tango Sierra IFR clearance, Palomar.
Epic 717 Tango Sierra, Santa Barbara clearance, cleared at Palomar Airport on departure, fly runway heading where departure Quang as filed, maintain 3000, expect 9,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.55, squawk 2440.
Cleared Palomar on departure runway heading radar vector Squang as filed. 3,000 departure, 9,000 within 10. Departure 120.55, squawk 2440, 717 Tango Sierra.
For 717 Tango Sierra, read back correct.
All right, well, we have no departure then. Easy enough. All right, so we go to flight plan. We'll go to menu. We'll go delete flight plan. We are not at 9 Lima 5. We are at Kilo SBA. Enter. And come up here. Hit clear on that, delete that, yeah. After that, it's going to be Quang, K, N, G, and then direct Ventura. And then menu, load airway, Victor 208, Oceanside, load. All the way down here. KCRQ. Enter. That's all set. Fantastic. On to the PFD. Initial altitude is going to be 3,000 feet. And 2055 will set later. Transponder code is going to be 2440. 2440. Set. And then we'll get the autopilot ready to go. So we're going to go 3,000 feet, vertical speed mode, up 1,500 feet per minute. So you'll notice the flight director comes up to meet that 1,500 feet per minute. And then we will go heading mode. And going to be runway heading, she said. So heading 250 initially. Heading 250, 1,500 feet per minute up to 3,000 feet. Set, set, set. And 1 notch of flaps. Takeoff. We'll set our trim here. Oops, that's not the trim button. That's the trim button. Here we go. Set, set, set. All right. We're looking good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Ground's 21.7. Set. Towers 19.7.
Maintain VFR at or below 2,400 till advised. Departure frequency 134.2, squawk 3215.
Done.
Below 2,400 feet. Departure frequency 134.2.
And
let's
go beta mode.
107 Bravo Kilo.
Squawk Cruiser 7 Bravo Kilo, read back correct.
Tower clearance, Mooney 153 Mike here. When you get a chance to breathe, IFR to Palomar, please.
Mooney. Espionage, good to see you. How you doing? Dayton's on my list of things to go do, that's for sure. Cosmic, take it easy, man. Have a great night. The airplanes fly because of money, says Tango. Yes, they do. Daniel PHX, good to see you, man. I think you might have asked a question earlier and I didn't answer it, so if you asked a question, please let me know. Bird Strike, happy Friday. If you else I miss here, we'll get you. Air Fubar, good to see you. That's a Brit learning in Vancouver at Pitt Meadows, this side of the pond. Learning to fly is a lot cheaper. Oh yeah, absolutely. Go find you a nice flying club too, and it gets even cheaper.
107 Bravo Kilo. Southwest parking, east departure. Taxi with Papa.
Papa.
We need 3 Max here, read that correct? Clear 107 Bravo Kilo, Burbank ground. Runway 8, taxi to Charlie.
Runway 8, via Charlie, 107 Bravo Kilo.
Oh, hey.
Tower, Baron 158 Whiskey Charlie.
Who is that?
35.
Mr. Myers, that was a quick flight, Kevin.
158 Whiskey Charlie,
hey,
Tower.
how you doing?
Course approved, runway 35, clear for takeoff. Wind 3,
Flash your taxi lights at me. That's a former PilotEdge controller turned real world controller. Now does all the social media stuff for PilotEdge, and yeah, just a generally cool guy. Kevin Myers. Santa Barbara ground, Epic 717 Tango Sierra, Atlantic Aviation Lima taxi.
Epic 717 Tango Sierra, Santa Barbara ground, runway 25 taxi, Bravo Alpha Golf.
25 Bravo Alpha Golf, 77 Tango Sierra. Alright, left's good, right's good. Simbones, good to see you, my friend. Happy Friday. Oops, this is Bravo. I didn't realize Kevin was coming to Burbank here, or Santa Barbara. He made it here pretty quick. Dude, I want to know what F-15 he's using. He's obviously an X. I think he's an X-plane. Even the canopy's modeled? Oh man, I want to fly an F-15. It's Premier One driver. Dude, I almost flew the Premier tonight. That was the original plan. And then I saw Epic got their certification. I was like, all right, well, we got to fly the Epic tonight. Will there be a military interceptor in the next flight? Probably not. F-16, sorry. Well, oh yeah, he's in F-16. Okay, you're right. Viper 17. Whatever, man. I don't know my military planes. Did he used to stream? I don't think Kevin ever streamed, but I don't recall. I don't think he ever did, though. Tesla, good to see you, my friend. Proper procedure for a military intercept. They wouldn't. I don't think they would simulate it on PilotEdge. If you're being intercepted, you do what they tell you to do. Like.
Grand Viper 17 Palomar.
Oh, he is going to Palomar. Much love and respect from Florida. We got a lot of guys from Florida. Hello from Boston.
Santa Barbara,
It's 30 degrees outside right now. It's freaking cold.
Flight is 410 Tango from Santa Barbara Tower, runway 25, clear for takeoff, wind 0903.
Clear for takeoff 2510 Tango.
Viper 17, Santa Barbara clearance, clear to Palomar Airport on departure. Fly runway heading, radar vector is Quang as filed. Maintain 3000, expect 1000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.5.
XP Aviator, thanks for 22 months, my friend. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Runway heading to 3000, 2055, 7470, Viper 17.
Kevin was taking off from San Diego earlier. It was at 10K before he left. Appreciated the runway. That's fantastic. Yeah, I know he was down there buzzing Bill Ferrelli and John Wayne a few minutes ago. All right, over to tower. And 2255 for departure.
Viper Sport 107 Bravo Kilo.
Sit.
Burbank Tower, runway 8, clear for takeoff, southeastbound departure.
That wrong?
Approved.
Imagine being ordered by a $600,000 missile. Yeah. I don't think they'd shoot a missile at you though, man. I think they'd just shoot you with the guns if they had to.
Departure 12 Tango.
My guess is their guns are going to do a pretty good number on a Cessna 172.
TBM 55 number Tango, Santa Barbara Tower, runway 25, line up and wait.
Alright, 25 line up and wait, TBM 5 Tango.
I want to know what F-16 he's flying though.
Flight 110 Tango, Santa Barbara departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 8000.
Break on for now just because we're lazy. I will switch to the left tank here for the takeoff. Just because there's a bit of a fuel imbalance.
110 Tango, flighting 140. TBM 55 never.
I suppose I could send Kevin a message.
Clear for takeoff, wind 0903.
25, clear for takeoff, TBM 5 Tango. Santa Barbara Graham,
when am I going to bring the TBM out? I flew it a few weeks ago.
Waiting 153 Mike
Didn't I?
Santa Barbara Ground,
I think I
runway
flew
25, taxi
fairly
Bravo,
recently.
Alpha
I probably
Golf.
flew on a GA Monday, honestly.
25 Bravo Alpha Golf through Mexico.
San Bernardino clearance, TBM November 1.
I don't remember though.
Whiskey, IFR.
We'll probably fly here in a few
Oxnard
weeks.
with X-ray.
I'll fly it at least once before Christmas on a GA Monday.
Lattice 10 Tango, contact Los Angeles Center 135.5.
All right. Tower Epic 717 Tango Sierra holding short runway 25.
TBM 13 Whiskey, San Bernardino Ground, stand by.
Do-do-do.
55 number Tango, contact departure.
Do-do-do. Oh, well, that's probably it then. How is the cockpit on that thing?
Departure 500 Tango.
Epic 717 Tango, clear Santa Barbara Tower, runway 25, line of wait.
Line runway 25, 77 Tango Sierra. Oops.
Lattice 110 Tango, Santa Barbara, correction, Los Angeles Center.
Maybe not the best looking cockpit.
304, climb and maintain 900,000.
Entered runway 25, 6,000 feet remaining.
That's probably what he's running though. Thanks, Bill. Excuse me.
TBM 55.
You should assess it against an Apache after you. That's a good point. Artist in simulation, good to see you. No need for bulls, they can just get you with the turbulence of the flyby. Man! Throwing the salt down. How's the baby girl doing? Oh, she's fantastic. She's walking. Remind me in the cruise, we'll look at some pictures.
Contact SoCal Apache 107 Bravo Kilo.
Epic 7 Tango Sierra, runway 25, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff from my 25, 77 Tango Sierra. All right, lights, camera, action. Let's go flying.
Drivers 4107 Bravo Kilo, so Cal departure, maintain appropriate VFR altitude.
Ask me in the air, I'll show you some more pictures.
3003. TV13 Whiskey, clear to Oxnard Airport. Runway 6, departure procedure.
Piece of green airspeed's alive.
Filed. Maintain 6000, expect
Rotate.
16,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 135.4, squawk 4605.
13 Whiskey,
Positive rates.
Oxnard, runway 6, departure procedure, Paradise, then as filed. 6,000, expect 16,000 after 10. Frequency 135.4, squawk 4605.
No damper.
TV13 with PV backtrack, however, amendment to the cruise
Autopilot.
altitude,
Some
expect
lazy.
8,000 is your final.
Flaps. Lights. Fuel auto select.
TV5 never pertained to
Net her off.
contact Los Angeles Center,
Motion separator off.
135.5. Have extended Tango Sierra, contact departure.
Departure, 7 Tango Sierra.
Center 10 Tango, clear direct Santa Catalina VOR. Pilots 110 Tango, clear direct Santa Catalina VOR.
Gotta pay attention. Santa Barbara TV, or Epic 717 Tango Sierra, 1,600 climbing 3,000.
TV55 never retain, go Los Angeles Center, climb and maintain 9,000.
We're just gonna keep 1,500 feet per minute here. Let the speed come up a little bit. We'll bleed some of that speed off when we turn around.
Epic 717 Tango Sierra, Santa Barbara departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain 8,000, leaving 3,000, fly heading 140.
8,000, heading 140 out of 3,000, 77 Tango Sierra. Write that down. Okay, so we're gonna go flight change mode now.
Ground, runway 25, taxi, Bravo, Alpha Golf.
Bring our speed back to 200 knots. So you'll see, I'll bring it back to 200 knots. The plane's gonna pitch up about 10 degrees as that airspeed starts to bleed off here. Once it gets to 200 knots, it'll go back to
2153 Max Sierra, Santa Barbara,
down.
Tower, wind 0903,
I'm gonna add power because I forgot to, so torque is 100%. And we'll start the right turn now to 140. Okay, 140 climbing 8,000.
Clear direct Santa Carolina VOR.
climbing 8,000.
Quebec 5 Alpha Kilo, contact SoCal Bridge 127.4.
Off we go.
Epic 7 Tango Sierra, contact Los Angeles Center 135.5.
35.5, 717 Tango Sierra. Okay, 35. It's going to be very, very, very busy flight, I think. We'll get some time in cruise here in a few minutes. SoCal departure Epic 717 Tango Sierra, 6,300 climbing 8,000. She should give me 9.
Epic 717 Tango Sierra, Los Angeles Center, climb and maintain 9,000, Santa Barbara altimeter 3004.
9,047 Tango Sierra.
Epic 335 Alpha Kilo, SoCal Bridge, Carolina altimeter 3010.
Yaw damper, what is it for and how does it work? Good question. The yaw damper is kind of like autopilot for your rudder.
23 Mike Sierra, contact
the best way to
departure.
describe it. The yaw damper is going to work to fight the Dutch roll effect. It's basically going to work to try to keep your plane flying
Epic 7 Tango Sierra,
straight.
clear direct Santa Carolina VOR.
Direct Santa Catalina, 717 Tango Sierra. That is a hell of a shortcut. Flight plan, Santa Catalina, direct, enter, nav mode. So, I'm not super well versed on the yaw damper, but what it essentially tries to do is keep the plane flying coordinated straight. So as you turn, you need to add some rudder to that turn. You need a direction, or else you're going to be sliding or skidding the turn. Or sorry, slipping or skidding the turn. And when you get into turbulence, it starts to become more pronounced. The yaw damper helps to keep the plane basically flying straight ahead as opposed to flying sideways. Which is why... Yep. Okay, there's cruise. We're below 10,000 feet, so we'll watch 250 knots here. Leave our lights on and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's why, like... You'll notice it in heavy turbulence a lot of times that the plane will kind of slide back and forth. You'll feel it more in the real world. But the TBM especially will fight you if you turn the yaw damper off and you're trying to keep yourself like if you're trying to remove a crab or something like that. The yaw damper is going to fight you. I'm less well versed on that topic. Can we stop for the wine mixer? I can't go to fingers, man. I'm on IFR clearance, man.
35.4.
IFR. I follow roads. It damps your yaws. There you go. ATC is not too overloaded. They don't have an issue with emergencies. Yeah, you can do emergencies. Lost comms is kind of dumb. Like, why would you simulate lost comms on PilotEdge? If you wanted... I mean, it's... That one I would say don't do. But emergencies, totally. If you want us to go out there and simulate actual emergencies in the airplane, like, be reasonable. Know what you're doing. Like, don't be an idiot.
013 Whiskey, your way to San ground clearance delivery is not available here. Go.
All right, so you wanted some baby pictures. You asked how the baby was doing, which by proxy means you're going to get some baby pictures. She doesn't sit still, so it's difficult to get the camera to focus.
Los Angeles Center, 135.5.
There you go. She finds her hands. She loves seeing her hands. She loves looking at herself in the camera too. She's a little vain like that. When she sees the selfie cam on, she immediately is just like, and gets really excited. She ate eggs and got eggs all over the place. But she loved her eggs.
Maintain 1000 Santa Barbara altimeter 3004.
1000 and thanks.
Oh, I didn't. You know what? I need to sync the latest photos. There's more pictures. It's just not synced on here. There we go. Now they'll show up. Just bump on that up at that shutter speed. I let the iPhone do what the iPhone wants to do. Yeah, she's had 2 teeth for like 3 months now. She had those first 2 teeth come in on the bottom there months ago. Nothing else has come in. We've been sitting here thinking, well, at some point... Oh, it's 11. That's why. We've been sitting here thinking, at some point, she should have more teeth coming in, right? No, hasn't been the case yet. I think the weather must have just changed or something. Upload my latest pictures, please.
Santa Carolina VOR.
It's trying to upload them. Look at all the water, I know, right? There's land over there somewhere. And our Austin Powers plane, as somebody pointed out. There, it's light out, so we can get a good view of it tonight. Or view of it this time. Oh, yeah. What's this doing? Sync!
Skyline 2250 Romeo John, standby. 7 Tango Sierra, state airspeed.
7 Tango Sierra is 250 knots.
Pilot 110 Tango Sierra.
258 knots, 10 Tango.
You should be 250 or less under 10,000 feet. Yeah. My cloud drive's not syncing.
55 Nowhere Tango Sierra speed.
260, CBM 500 Tango.
Sync! Oh, it's trying. Oh, I think it's chunking up on the videos.
On the indicated.
Sorry, there was a problem.
Number Tango. So 10 Tango, was that ground speed that you gave me, or is that your airspeed, your indicated airspeed?
Come on.
Ground speed, 258 knots, indicated I'm doing 220.
Oof.
So 10 Tango, roger. Just FYI for all you guys,
Kevin!
Whenever ATC requests your say airspeed, they specifically want your
Kevin, which F-16 are you flying, man?
Your ground speed.
We were trying to figure this out. Well, I was trying to figure this out. My cloud,
Are you able 230 knots?
my OneDrive is not uploading right now for my
Negative,
camera,
1-0,
so
Tango.
yeah, 220 is all he's got in that Pilatus.
Number Tango, maintain 220 knots or less.
220 knots or less, 10 Tango.
I'll take climb and go faster.
7 Tango Sierra, speed to 230.
230, you're killing me, 7 Tango Sierra. Of course, she's going to blame me for this all because everybody's flying my route.
2250,
She knows.
Romeo, go ahead with your request.
All right, 230 knots. There we go. But yeah, when they ask you for speed, they're always asking for your airspeed. They don't care about your ground speed or your true airspeed or any of that. It's a lot of tangos, dude. You're right. Sierra Tango, November Tango, Tango Sierra, and then Viper.
Departure frequency 128.1 and squawk.
It's all right.
6334.
I've had pilots depart uncontrolled fields on a low IFR day, pick up their IFR in the air, and ask for bases. They report they say 300. Wow. People are dumb, man. Like, just because you learn how to fly an airplane, I'm not talking about anybody in this chat, by the way. Just because you learn how to fly an airplane doesn't mean you're a smart person. Good to see you come out there, Kevin. How you doing, man? We were just talking about you earlier. And your accomplishments as a formerly active PilotEdge controller, now real-world controller.
It goes 582 Whiskey Delta, Burbank clearance, clear to John Lane Airport. Van 3 departure to Twine is filed. Maintain 4,000.
Gotta get you moved to Boston. It's nicer up here. A little cold, but you know.
134.2. Squawk
The American dream. Working the world's most stressful job. Boston's a good time. It's cold though, man. I'm telling you.
Number 2 Whiskey Delta, Van Nuys 3.
My thermostat was telling me it's 30 degrees outside right now. And I'm sure that temperature is coming down. 29 now in Beverly. Supposed to get a low of 20 tonight, dude. Oh, it's way too early for that crap. Boston Center isn't anywhere near Nashville. It's in Boston.
205 number Tango, say again.
We're going to step away for a minute.
Number 5 Tango, roger, how long?
Listen, this are not found. For all intents and purposes, you and I live in Boston. If you're in Nashua, you live in Boston, so you're fine. Celsius. 220 knots, 7 Tango Sierra. We can go higher and faster if you need. I don't think she appreciates that. 26 in Concord, New Hampshire right now. No! No. It's too early in the year for that crap. Cactus Loop is good to see you, by the way. New Hampshire isn't Boston. New Hampshire's the boonies. New Hampshire's the boonies once you get north of Manchester. Okay? Pactus Lupus in Concord is in the boonies.
Go ahead and give you a taxi at the runway. You can just stop off for the run-up. Runway 20 right, taxi via Bravo Kilo.
The hell is a base is reported? When you report bases, you're reporting the base of the clouds. So you're basically saying, here's where I entered or exited IMC. So to Kevin's comment, people are calling up asking for an IFR clearance. They're reporting bases of 300. The assumption there is that they flew into IMC. They flew into instrument meteorological conditions without being on a controlled flight plan. Like without control, which is against the rules. Not quite, but compared to Boston, yes, Concord's the boonies. Yeah. When the weather's less than 5,005, we are required to get a pyre up at least once an hour when able, says Kevin. Yeah, it's the ceilings. Oops. I just dribbled water all over myself.
Just making sure you were still with me.
Yeah, there's ceilings when you're on the ground. And when you're thinking about being on the ground, they are bases when you're flying through them.
Isaac 5 Alpha Kilo.
72 degrees in Phoenix. Oh,
128.1.
man. Get out of here. Why is my cloud drive not uploading?
128.28.
Am I like out of? I'm not out of space on this thing, am I?
23 Mike Sierra, contact point with your approach.
No, I got plenty of space. Damn it, OneDrive. Failing me today.
Lattice 10 Tango, contact.
I want to show cute baby pictures and I can't.
27.4, 10 Tango.
Because that's a pretty cute picture I'm looking at right now.
5 Tango's back.
5 Tango, thank you. Contact center, SoCal approach 127.4.
Alright, whatever.
127.4, TBM 500 Tango.
That's why I love the stream. Learn something new every day. Yeah! I like it. Sometimes the things we learn are correct. But not always. When she was born, you doubled all your cloud storage. Oh, I got plenty of storage, yeah. I got to move everything over to another cloud storage where I've got a 2 terabytes. I just am not there yet.
Initial check-in, please.
NV777, good to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for 4 months of support. I do appreciate that. Cheers, buddy. Hope you're doing well today. Whoop, whoop.
Have a 33 Alpha, 5 Alpha Kilo, SoCal approach, German altimeter 3002.
Pull up.
Thank you.
Pull up.
TBM
Does the TBM really hurt the frames a lot? That's the only thing holding me back from buying it. It depends. So if you have a lower end PC, yeah, the TBM is going to be frame heavy. On my relatively high end PC, the TBM is one of the best running planes I have. So like the answer unfortunately is it depends. I have an escort off my right wing. Oh, where's he at? Oh, he's already past me. Oh, there he is. Hey, there's Kevin. The closest thing I get to a fighter escort. Hang on, let's see if we can. Kevin? Did you just open your canopy?
Contact. Climb and maintain 8,000.
I use both. I have iCloud and OneDrive. But my primary means of storage is is OneDrive. Or at least it normally is. He's just waving off normal. It's cool. We got this.
7 miles, report in sight.
That's too funny.
Thank you. Contact Ontario
So if you're not familiar with PilotEdge, that's a real person. That's K Myers 6 ATC in PilotEdge or in Twitch chat here, flying his F-16. 27.4 77 Tango Sierra.
Viper 17, contact SoCal approach 127.4.
Is she gonna want me to have the ATIS yet? I don't know. SoCal approach 717 Tango Sierra 9,000. 20.15.
Havoc 717 Tango Sierra, SoCal approach Catalina altimeter 3010.
10. All right, 10. We'll grab the ATIS.
Airbus 410 Bravo Kilo, Ontario Tower, report mid to left, downwind runway 26 left.
Arriving and departing runway 24. ILS runway 24 approach in use. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact that you have information hotel.
Viper 17, SoCal approach Carolina altimeter 3010.
Hotel.
Outside McClellan Palomar Airport. 8
Havoc 335
Hotel.
Kilo, contact SoCal approach now 119.6.
Visibility 9er. Sky condition clear.
We have hotel.
119.6, November 335
Got it.
Alpha Kilo.
Spirit 7 Tango Sierra, fly heading 0.
You can run the flight.
0 for sequence.
If you can run the flat factor A320, you can run the TBM.
Approach November 335
Good to know.
Alpha Kilo with you 9,000.
Epic 33 Alpha Kilo, correction, Epic 335 Alpha Kilo, circle approach, Palomar altimeter 3002. Thank you. I do have information, Delta.
I thought Bill Farley was going to come join us.
Cardi, descend and maintain 7,000.
He hasn't even left the ground at John Wayne yet.
We have information Delta at KSAN, and we'll cross
KSAN.
Cardi, was that
Catalina Island ahead? Yeah.
8,000?
Yeah, so you're going to see, there it goes. You're going to see Catalina's scenery load in here. Because the ortho I have doesn't have Catalina Island.
After Cardi,
But Mr. X's Catalina scenery does have ortho. So it only loads in once you get a little closer. And then there's like Catalina Airport proper there. Same thing with that. Like that airport out there I don't have.
Just 17 Tango Sierra, fly heading 080 for sequence.
08077 Tango Sierra. 080 heading. I think she actually might be sequencing me around the Viper.
93 Mike Sierra, contact Sector approach 134.2.
34.2, Mike Sierra.
I think you missed a call. Yeah, I probably did. We got it though. It's cool. Be a short one tonight.
3 Mike Sierra, circle approach for right altimeter 3003. Climb maintain.
All right, well that's empty.
9,000.
03 up to 9,000, Mike Sierra.
I think he just said thanks, sir.
0250 Romeo,
That's not how that works.
Transponders on altitude mode, please.
Los Angeles over there. Torrance is going to be right around there. John Wayne over here. Actually, Bill Farrelly might be pretty close to getting in with us.
7 Tango Sierra, clear direct Santa Catalina.
Direct Santa Catalina, 77 Tango Sierra. Direct enter and nav mode. Yeah, so that was, I think it was a delay vector for the Viper.
Thank you, runway 20 right at Kilo, clear for takeoff, wind 160.5.
Or maybe they plotted us in front of me. It was a delay vector for him. I don't know. We're still 220 knots assigned. We're going pretty slow. And ForeFlight is still telling me that we're 18 minutes out, so we got a few minutes to go. Airplane that has missiles gets priority. Yeah, there's some truth to that. Not really sure what an F-16 is doing going to Palomar, but it's cool. I guess there is an army base in that area. Up in what, Carlsbad? It's tough to know, Stang, what your performance is going to be like. Like I said, it depends on your hardware configuration. It depends on the add-ons that you have installed. It depends on just a lot of stuff. Oh, yeah, thank you guys for telling me about the 080 I missed. Oops. Ice cream. They have sweet ice cream. Really? Now you've got me listening. I'm going to get me some ice cream after the stream tonight. That's going to be delicious. I have chocolate fudge brownie downstairs. Yeah. It's pretty good. Maybe a scoop of that and a scoop of chocolate chip cookie dough. Yeah.
Viper 17, contact SoCal approach 128.1.
It's an advanced GA aircraft. The avionics and the TBM 900 kills frames. Yeah. Like I said, it depends because so the way the TBM works, they offload a lot of the rendering and a lot of the work off to another core. So if you have a lot of cores, it can actually run really well. That being said, if you don't have a lot of cores, sometimes it doesn't run great. Cherry Garcia, I'm not a cherry fan. I don't like cherry flavored anything. Nath P01, good to see you. My frames are really good. Like, we're running 50 plus right now out here over the ocean. I was getting the low. We chunked down to like 25, 30 leaving Half Moon Bay, where it was a really nice scenery. It was really crappy weather and whatnot. But it's been this thing runs super smooth. That being said, I have an AMD 3900X and an RTX 2080 Ti. So hardware does not get a lot better than what I've got in my PC right now. And I don't mean that as a brag. Just a matter of fact.
Visual approach runway 27. Contact SoCal approach 124.35.
Yeah, I was watching Jeff Fabiano last night fly around with X Enviro, and his sim was running real slow, man. Like, it was very, very framey. So I think I'm still going to give that a little bit more time in the kitty. It sounds like they think that the next version of X Enviro might fix some of the performance issues. So when 1.13 comes out, we'll plan on taking a look at it. Assuming that we aren't all on 2020 by then.
Approach November 35 Alpha.
Which, by the way, if you're interested in signing up for the Flight Simulator Alpha test, they opened it back up. You can go sign up. You can go sign up for Phase 2. It's worth noting that people in Phase 1 haven't gotten the client yet, so might be some time. For someone like me that has an i7 and a 1070, what should we expect? I don't know, man. I used to run this on a 4790K and a 1070 and it ran fine. But again, there's so many factors involved. It's difficult for me to say what performance is going to be like.
7,000, what's your tango?
This plane tends to run. This one is sort of middle of the road in terms of frames and whatnot. Some of the heavier stuff is like the TBM, the A320. Some of the flight factor stuff tends to be a little bit heavier. The lighter stuff tends to be some of the other Aerobask planes. V-flight airplanes are typically a little bit lighter on the frames. Sabid, good to see you, my friend. Haven't seen you for a while. How you doing? Happy Friday.
TBM 13 Whiskey, contact SoCal approach 134.2.
Yeah. Looking forward to Flight Sim 2020. Kyokin! What's going on, man?
Contact SoCal approach 119.6.
Like I said, baby's been waking up early, so.
Epic 7 Tango Sierra, contact SoCal approach 128.1.
28.1, 77 Tango Sierra. 28.1.
Approach 12 Tango. Approach TPM November 13 Whiskey, level 8,000.
Okay. Was doing some updates running Linux, and Linux just crashed. I'm sorry. My daughter's fantastic. I'm trying to show some more pictures, but my pictures won't sync to my OneDrive, which is causing me a bit of unhappiness here. Let me just try to reboot my phone. Oh, no, it's going now. It's going now. They're going, so we'll look at some pictures here in a second. She's doing great, though. She's fantastic. I love her. Kid's awesome. SoCal approach Epic 717 Tango Sierra 9000 with hotel. There you go. Here's the little poop monster. She eats anything you put in front of her, and she is at her best and happiest when she is eating food.
SoCal Viper 1798 for 7,000.
And when she's being paid attention to. She's starting to walk.
Full ILS from motion test.
She's turning into a big girl.
Piper 17 SoCal approach Piper, correction, Palomar altimeter 3002, cross ocean.
Likes to stick her finger in her mouth.
Cleared ILS runway
24
approach report in homely.
She likes to stand where she's not supposed to stand.
Saturba 5, cleared ILS 24,
And
report homely 517.
Nope. Oh yeah, here you go. This is her walking. Yep. You might have seen this on Twitter. Looks like she's a little drunk, but it's okay. This has to be the one here. Yes.
Right heading 340 up to 7,000.
I'm coming for you, cat.
GBM 13 Whiskey, fly heading 260, descend and maintain 6,000.
260, descend and maintain 6,000, 13 Whiskey.
I'm coming to get you, she says.
For 5 number Tango, descend and maintain 7,000.
So maintain 7,000, 5 number Tango.
That's a big cat or a little kid. A little bit of both. The cat and the baby are both pretty good size.
3 Alpha Kilo, turn right, heading 230.
Right to 20 November 335 Alpha Kilo.
All right, there's one more.
Epic 5 Kilo, confirm 230.
Letting her crawl around the house last night. She just basically ran in circles.
Alpha Kilo.
Round and round and round and round she went. And she crawled. She did this for like 45 minutes. I was chasing after her. She was starting to slow down at one point, though. That's when it's like, all right, it's probably time to go to bed.
5 Kilo, descend and maintain 3,800.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's doing fantastic.
3,800, 335 Alpha
It's
Kilo.
awesome.
There 5 number Tango, maintain 220 knots, please.
220, 5 number Tango.
Marker 17, maintain.
Stick food in front of her. She just wolfs it down.
Knots or greater.
And she'll eventually start double fisting food.
230 or more, Mark 17.
It's like, I'm not done yet. Give me more. Well, she was actually she was watching Paul at that point.
9,000 to Whiskey Delta.
Yeah, my wife made a brief appearance in that one. Yeah.
Contact SoCal. Disregard. Descend and maintain 7,000.
7,000, 7 Tango Sierra. All right, 7,000 vertical speed.
Tango, contact SoCal.
There we go.
19.6.
Maintain that 224. Am I flying online at the moment, or is ATC a lot more advanced than new sim? Nope, flying online. We're flying on a network called PilotEdge. There's a real person providing us with ATC control. She's being paid to do this right now. I am paying to be here. And all the other people who are on here are also paying to be here.
The visual, 10 Tango.
So that's Anthrax in chat. He lives in Florida. There's also Flash 23 that's flying along with us in chat. He's a student pilot. And there's a Viper 17 flying along with us in the Palomar. He is a real-world air traffic controller. And then there's also Bill Forelli coming in, too, who is a student down in SoCal. So, yeah, there's real people flying. There's real people controlling.
SoCal approach, November 13.
We're going to be following procedures as close as possible.
Approved report when you're back, please.
Vordy, I'm good to see you. Yeah. The kid is tall. The cat is humongous.
Eclipse 2 Whiskey Delta, turn right, heading 100 to Victor 459.
Cat's on a diet now, though. Little Chonker is going to become, or Big Chonker is going to become Little Chonker at some point. Because one time I walked into the living room and she was sitting like this.
Right heading 100.
You gotta admit, it's pretty awesome.
2 Whiskey Delta, join Victor
I
459.
had another one, I think. Similar type of pose.
Right heading to 100. We'll join the Victor 459 for 2 Whiskey Delta.
I thought I did at least.
TBM 5 November Tango, contact circle approach
220 knots.
19.6, TBM 5 go.
For 5 Alpha Kilo, turn right, heading
I had
310.
more kitty pictures. Guess not.
Right to 310, Alpha Kilo.
Circle approach, TBM 500 Tango 7000, hotel with like the RNAV X-ray runway 24.
Thought I had another one of the cap. Oh yeah, here we go. Yes, this is the one. That's a baby. Ah, cat! Where's the cat?
5 November Tango, circle approach Palmer Alpha 3002. Where do you take the approach from?
I'd like to take from motion side 500 Tango.
Cat's so fat. Clean X Ghost, thanks for 11 months, man. I do appreciate it. Cheers, buddy. Thank you again. Oh, Lord, she coming?
Turn at Jidove.
Oh, man.
Great, cross ocean side air above 5,300, cleared RNAV X-ray runway 24, and we'll put the turn at Jidove, TBM 500 Tango.
Did you hear myself in the background yell, oh, Lord, she's coming? Turn that transmission. It's fantastic. Oh, yeah.
Switch for airport 10 Tango.
Waiting to see if FS 2020 will have its own ATC or use third-party stuff. They'll have some sort of ATC, I'm sure. Like, worst case scenario, you'll get the FSX ATC in there.
3,500.
Papa requesting ILS
3,500 and an airport's inside.
No, 10 Tango, clear visual approach runway 24. Keep your base turn within 7 miles of the airport.
Well, we're going to see Bill Ferrelli up here fairly soon. He's right around here.
335 Alpha Kilo.
See if I turn.
360. Expect a right turn for
Can I turn traffic on?
local either. Turn right heading 360.
No, maybe I can't.
Right turn to 30 November 335 Alpha Kilo.
SoCal approach TBM November.
I guess this one let me put traffic on.
We have Papa request ILS runway
Papa?
25.
This has traffic. Yeah, that's Bill. Bill is somewhere right there. 4,000 feet below me. We're not going to see him anytime soon.
Ever 13 Whiskey.
Text.
Point Magoo approach 124.7.
24-7.
Parker 17 over Homley.
For 17, thank you. Maintain 180 knots till final approach fix.
180 to the final approach fix, Parker 17.
Point Mubu approach TBM November 13 with.
All right, got to see what they're doing for approaches. Sounds like she's putting people in the ILS.
Runway 25.
For 5 Alpha Kilo, turn right heading 080.
So let's brief. ILS 24.
Right turn 005 Alpha Kilo.
013 Whiskey, Point Magoo approach, Oxnard altimeter 3006.
Let's do
Turn
proc.
right heading 280.
Select ILS 24 vectors.
5 miles through Kudak,
Turn the minimums off. Load that. 108.7.
To your right heading 280, descend to maintain 4,000 until established ILS 2513 Whiskey.
Okay, we're going to fly the ILS 24 approach into McKellen Palmer Airport, CRQ. 108.7 is tuned in. Final approach course 245 will soon be tuned in. We have 4,900 feet of runway to work with. Touchdown zone elevation is 326 feet. Final approach intercept is going to be at 2,300 feet at Sidru. 19.6, 7 Tango Sierra.
SoCal approach 2153 Mike Sierra 9,000.
Meeting 153 Mike Sierra, SoCal approach LA altimeter 3002.
Sound like a guy from the UPS commercial back in the 90s.
Any faster?
No, I'm pushing it to the limit already, Mike Sierra.
Congratulations, you should have found. Goodness goes, happy Friday.
181.
03 Mike Sierra, thank you.
SoCal approach, close 582 Whiskey Delta.
Yeah, I know. We're in the middle of briefing an approach.
110 Tango, cancel approach clearance, climb and maintain 4,000, fly present heading.
Uh-oh.
4,000, maintain present heading.
Parker 17, contact Palomar Tower, 118.6. Traffic slightly readier, 3 o'clock and 3 miles southbound of Pilatus, climbing to 4,000.
18.6, 547.
SoCal Epic 717 Tango Sierra 7,000 Hotel.
717 Tango Sierra, SoCal approach, Palomar altimeter 3003, depart Oceanside heading 070, descend maintain 5,000, say approach request.
Port Oceanside 070 down to 5,000. We'll take a visual approach 7 Tango Sierra.
5 Alpha Kilo, try this again, turn right heading 220, report airport in sight.
Approach.
The airport should be slightly
Briefing canceled.
right here 12 o'clock and roughly 7 miles.
Because if she's not going to make me fly the ILS, I won't fly it. I'll fly visual. Okay, Oceanside 070.
Heading 080.
Where are you going? Wrong way, plane.
Parker 17, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind calm.
There we go.
7 Tango Sierra, expect visual approach runway 24.
7 Tango Sierra. This should not found has all of the Zebos.
The left turn heading 350.
Hoop line, good to see you.
Descend 3,000, left turn.
Have you tried flying out of multiplayer yet? If so, is the ATC the same or more advanced than FSX?
350,
they haven't. Nothing has been announced for 2020 regarding ATC.
Right turn to
So anything that you hear about ATC is going to be all speculation.
582 Whiskey Delta, SoCal approach, LA altimeter 3002, reduce speed to 180.
When I flew in the sim back in September, there was no ATC yet.
He's at level at 9,000.
And I don't think they had anything to say about ATC either, so I would say wait and see. My guess is though it'll be similar. It'll be probably similar to what we had with FSX. The FMS and Autopilot systems are really amazing for being written in Lua. So in this particular airplane, I think the Autopilot's probably using the default X-plane stuff. And the FMS and all this stuff is all done via the default X-plane stuff as well. So most of the avionics and all the stuff you're seeing on here, or the avionics I should say, and the Autopilot and whatnot are all, if they're default FS or X-plane, they are not Lua. The Lua stuff is going to be like the systems modeling, the buttons that are on, the behavior of the flaps, kind of like that kind of stuff.
Clear visual approach. Caution wake turbulence as F-16 that just landed there. Contact Palomar Tower 118.6.
Over the tower 118.6, 10 Tango.
SoCal approach. Skyline 2250
Hey,
Romeo with information.
there's Bill.
Palomar inside.
250 Romeo, contact Palomar Tower 118.6.
Are you talking about the Zevo? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, that's all done in Lua. Sorry about that. Windy NGXU. Yeah, right? Scuba Steve, good to see you. If you're in the P3D world, if you buy the NGXU, they said you will get the NG3, which is going to be the Microsoft Flight Simulator version next year, 100% off, like for free. To me, that means there's a strong implication that there's going to be a lot of crossover between the two sims if you read between the lines there. Because PMDG don't give you anything for free. Robert Rendazzo going to get his. One way or the other.
SoCal approach, TPM 5 Tango dispatch, G1000.
5 Network Tango, thank you.
Yep.
They're 335 up kilo, Limber Tower, runway 27, clear to land, wind calm.
We can tune up the ILS anyway, just so we have it.
7 Tango Sierra, turn right heading 170, descend and maintain 3,300.
170, 3,300, 717 Tango Sierra. 170.
Right, the 17 taxi to Park India Alpha, have a great.
3,300. Because that's going to be her MVA. The lowest altitude she can get me down to.
2742 Whiskey Delta.
013 Whiskey, contact Oxnard Tower 134.905.
245. Boom. If I really wanted to be an ass, I could have asked for the VOR approach.
Aircraft transmitting unreadable. It's just noise and static.
No, I saw one today that they said they get 100. It's 100% of the cost.
There are 17 at Sierra Palomar Airport is issuing your 1 to 2 o'clock, 9 miles reporting sight.
We're looking for 17 at Sierra.
SoCal approach, can you 582 Whiskey Delta, windy level 9,000.
582 Whiskey Delta, SoCal approach, showing altimeter 3003.
Yeah, that's it right there.
If you lose sight of the traffic, please advise.
I could be wrong though.
Yeah, 2 Whiskey Delta's going to lose sight of the minimum.
7 Tango Sierra is Palomar.
Here's 7 Tango Sierra, clear vision approach, runway 24, establish final contact tower 118.6.
Okay, clear visual approach 24 and tower established final 77 Tango Sierra.
2250 Romeo Palomar Tower, join the right downwind, runway 24, and I might have to have you extend for Epic that's inbound. I just advised midfield.
Oops. All right, $100 then. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I'm expecting to spend like $200 for this the the flight sim version. Again, Rendazzo going to get his.
7 Tango Sierra, contact Palomar Tower 118.6.
Tower 7 Tango Sierra.
Oscar 10 Tango, taxi to parking via Alpha. Have a great
Bravo Tower, I'm on the other side of the field.
Yeah, you are.
No 10 Tango, no problem. Taxi to parking via November. Have a great night.
Taxi via November, 10 Tango.
Palomar Tower 50 Romeo is midfield for the right downwind 24.
Where's the damn field? Oh, there it is. Oh, shoot, I got it. Yep.
50 Romeo, extend your downwind. It's Epic on final reporting site.
Okay, we'll be looking for
Final
that
is being generous for me.
Report him inside 50 Romeo.
Tower, Epic 717, take us here, visual 24.
Epic 717, take us here, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind calm.
Clear to land, runway 24, 77, take us here.
Oxnard Tower, TBM November 13 with the ILS runway 25.
Gear.
Epic, correction, TBM 13 with the Oxnard Tower, runway 25, clear to land, wind 2806.
Flaps.
25, clear land, 13 with me.
Nose that sucker over.
3 Mike Sierra, contact SoCal approach 128.1.
Parameters checked. Wouldn't exactly call this a stable approach, but you know what? We're flying Part 91, so.
Charlie's bus ramp with Sierra, taxi for the pattern.
500.
Parameters checked.
Mike Sierra, SoCal approach, showing altimeter 3003. You're 5 Alpha Kilo, taxi to Park Bravo, have a great evening.
Over to Bravo, thanks today.
Okay, gear down, flaps are green. Sorry, gear down, lights are green. Flaps are down indicated, lights are set. Clearance has been received. Turn our inertial separator on. Turn off fuel all select. Got my aiming point.
5 Nova Tango, contact Palomar Tower 18.6.
St. Louis ground,
ground for closed traffic. Taking the call sign.
Sierra for my cat port.
Ah, too much flare.
Okay, there was another one calling just now. St. Louis ground for cat 4. Say call sign.
King Air 1510 Quebec.
Sir 1510.
Skip the reverse, just went to beta mode.
Taxi via Alpha, high request for the cat 4.
29er via Alpha 10 Quebec.
Easy. Fake it till you make it. That's right. Flight Sim Pilot, good to see you.
Sierra, taxi to parking via Alpha, have a great.
Parking off a 7 tickets here. Have a great night. Thanks for your help.
Yeah, those ground November 71 Kilo Charlie West Ramp Sierra taxi pattern order.
Well, that was busy.
There 582 with P Delta flighting 170 to Sim 18 7000. Contact SoCal approach 128.1.
Yeah, I overflared it just a touch, so we sort of went back flying again there, which caused then the float, which caused then a little bit of a firm landing, but it's fine. I was pretty close to my aiming point, so I was okay with that.
Sir 500 Tango, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land. Traffic a Mooney.
It was implied the NG3 will be more than $100. Oh yeah, you can guarantee that. In fact, the only reason the NGXU is $100 is because I think they assume nobody will buy it otherwise, with the prospect of a new simulator right around the corner. Otherwise, they would have charged $140 or $150 they charged for the. Parking front and center there. They would have charged $140 or whatever they charged for the 747. I respect. Somebody mentioned this. I respect their product as well, but Hootlang said this: the business model they have and their superiority complex is a little tough to get used to sometimes, or to take in sometimes. PMDG quality is going to get to cult-like status. Yep. It's the same way that people look at Apple and other consumer electronic products and things like that. I'm hoping that more developers show up to the party. I'd love to see some X-Plane folks come over and give us some products there, but who the hell knows? We won't know for a little longer, that's for sure. The new 737 is pretty good. Oh, I don't doubt that. I'm sure it's fantastic. Like I said, the products are like myself and Hootlang said, or Hootlang and myself said, because Hootlang said it first. The products are fantastic. There's no question about that. I don't understand why they charge so much money for them. Like, obviously people will pay, and that's probably why they're doing it, but holy crap, dude. Like, it's getting outrageous, the price of some of those simulations. Like, the 747 is like 3 times, or it's more than twice the cost of the academic license of P3D. All right. Anyway, we made it. Yeah. Well, that was fun. Let me upload the flight. Or the flights, I should say. Logbook. There we go. Upload that. Hang on, this is important. We'll send it up to Cloud Ahoy. Uh-huh. Go. We need to update our mobile app. It's a little janky. And we'll send that one as well. Open KMLN. Uh-huh. MOA. Cloud Ahoy. Go. All right. I said it was built off of FSX. Why does it look more like X-Plane? Well, just like the core technology being built off of FSX doesn't mean... Dude, I won't even say it looks like X-Plane. It looks like its own thing. It looks like Google Maps. To say that it looks like X-Plane is being a little disingenuous to that sim. Because it looks nothing like either X-Plane or FSX. Or P3D for that matter. Like, it's definitely its own brand new, crazy brand new thing. All right, let's see how we did. One thing I like about PMDG is that they finished their planes. So many pay-war aircraft for X-Plane are still in beta, not mentioning any names. Well, they never finished the DC-6. So they don't always finish their planes. The DC-6 for X-Plane, from what I understand, left a little something to be desired and was never updated for X-Plane 11. I have to say, just picked up this G1000 version. I'm going to go my go-to plane for a while. It's a VR beast. Nice, man. Yeah, you and your VR, Bob. I need to do VR in the sim at some point. Just bite the bullet. All right, let's watch the float here. There's the overflare. You can see I kind of go airborne a little bit more. And then as we lost the lift there, we dropped right at the very end. Nailed that center line though. I was aiming here. So I was aiming for the captain's bars. And you can see if I hadn't overflared it, I would have been fine. But we had an extra 200 and some odd feet past the bars there. Or 250 feet past the bars. You'll see it pretty up. You'll see that action pretty apparent when I look at it like this. Yeah, thanks you guys for flying along with me, by the way. Appreciate it. It's good to have the traffic this evening. Talking more about the HUD and not the graphics. I don't know what you mean by the HUD. I would not assume any UI elements are final. The UI elements I've seen look more like Flight Sim World than either of these. Would you suggest I get the Tullus? It's worth the money. Dude, the Tullus is one of my favorite jets. It probably is my favorite airliner right now. Tullus is fantastic. Yeah, there's the bump. It's so easy to do that in the real world too, especially in a 172. That thing just wants to stay up in the air and not come down. It's all right, though. I'll take it. Yeah, we'll skip the debrief tonight. Better than the 767 in my opinion, yeah, but I'm not a big flight factor fan at all. Yeah, I should have pulled the power a little sooner. Let the plane sort of come in. Like I should have pulled the power around 30 feet. Keep that attitude and then pull back ever so slightly once we're down a little lower. And I think that would have been perfect. Should be pissed off with us all. When they're busy, like when the controllers are busy, it makes their shift go faster. Nobody was really screwing up tonight. You know, she didn't have to tell anybody off. Like everybody was kind of doing their thing. Yeah, it was busy, but I don't think that anything. I don't see any issues with the flight this evening. I think things went pretty well. Yeah. I volunteered to take the visual, man. I asked for the visual. She asked for my approach request. I said visual. I'll take the visual approach. Like I didn't need to fly an instrument approach this time. We flew one of those last time. I'm cool with that.
400. 500. 400. 300.
That'll be a corporate chill here. We'll take a look at the that last part of the approach there.
100.
Let's call it a TBM. So we're flying it like a TBM.
50. 40.
Visuals are easier, yeah, less workload.
20. 10.
All right. So I'll pull over this. We'll do it. We can look at Cloud Ahoy because why not? So this is my employer. Full disclosure. In the interest of full disclosure, this is the company I work for. This is the product we make. And we're going to talk about the descent to land. We'll pop that out. We'll pop you in. So, what happened? So I don't know if you guys realize this. I had the airport, but I sort of lined myself up incorrectly. And I ended up lining up basically north of the runway here. So when she had Bill on that downwind leg, him and I were pretty much flying like right at each other. Once I realized my mistake, I then corrected and put myself then on the final from there. But yeah, I turned in a little too aggressively. I probably could have kept it coming diagonally because I had the ILS tuned in. I had the glide slope. Like I had all the tools in front of me that said, this is how you fly this approach. And I chose to ignore them. Which was kind of dumb. But yeah, once we got into final approach, though, it was fine. Kept a nice consistent airspeed. So the indicated the airspeed below 500 feet was 85 to 91. So that was pretty good. Consistency, like it was -3 to +3. So like it was really bang on close. The sync rate got a little bit high at times. 882 was the maximum sync rate on the way down, which below 500 feet, maybe you don't quite want that. And then sort of went down from the descent angle is kind of a weird calculation that I don't think is a really good one. But the important stuff is the indicated airspeed being consistent and all that. So as long as the indicated airspeed is consistent and the sync rate is decently, like a decent sync rate and decent consistency there, then I'm pretty happy with the approaches. And overall, I think that was okay. The only issue there, obviously, is that had this been the real world, the controller would have gotten pissed at me because I was flying head on with somebody else who was in the downwind. And setting off their TCAO, setting off their traffic alerts and things like that. So it's good to know. You see terrain clearances and all that stuff. Good stuff. And the first flight into Santa Barbara. I'm curious terrain clearance, actually. I'm curious about terrain clearance on this one. So we'll call ourselves Steve-01 Kenevo. I'm interested on the terrain clearances coming into Santa Barbara because it was dark and I couldn't see anything. So I was like keeping it high. Yeah, so I had plenty of leeway coming in here. It did not like my approach, did it? What didn't it like about my approach? Oh, it didn't like my airspeed. Oh, right, because I was kind of fast. No, I was slow. Sorry, I was slow coming in there. Oh, you know, that might be a case, like that might be a factor of winds then, because the winds don't get reported properly. So it's entirely possible the winds were wrong. Because it was still, consistency was there. I was only 5 knots off, all said and done. But yeah, I was curious about train clearance because there's all this crap out here, and sometimes like in an airliner flight, they'll bring you out a little further and then bring you in on this visual, and then you got to worry about these hills and whatnot that are sort of near the airport. But I was concerned about that at night because I couldn't see that stuff. But it was good to know that that was pretty much a non-issue coming in here. It was almost completely flat into this airport because you couldn't see, like even Bill Ferrelli said something, like you couldn't see anything coming in there. It's pretty wild. But yeah, no, it's a good couple of flights. Good times, little GA stuff. Congratulations, Epic, on getting their certification. Like it's pretty bonkers. That's pretty wild. Yeah, nice tools debrief, right? It's good stuff. Cloudahoy.com. Go check it out. What the heck is that video? Turn on the synthetic. Oh, you want to see the synthetic vision? Yeah, what can we do here? All right, let's log in again. Let's see. So we can go back to the Santa Barbara flight, yeah. And then we'll grab viewing option. Actually, let's go layout. We'll just do 3D flight overview. And then we'll say all the way to descent and landing. And here's your synthetic view coming in. So you can see a little bit on the low side coming across the coast there, but there's no need to worry about terrain or anything like that. And then just a nice, easy in for landing. We're working on something to make the X-plane stuff a little bit better, because right now it's not. The roll and pitch and all that stuff is not fantastic, and there's improvements that are on their way. All right, yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Who's live right now? Who can we go say hi to?